podcast is part of the No Phony Podcast Network, the home of independent awesomeness.
Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 14 of A Grave Crows. I'm Jared.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Morgan.
And I'm Steve.
And as you can see, Dane isn't here, but we have a very special guest with us.
It is special's Jeff, right.
Very special guest. All the way from US of A, California. It is Jeff from the Round and Round podcast. Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
He's going to be with us the whole show, joining in on everything with a quiz and, well, just fitting in, really. And we're going to be talking about his podcasts and himself later on in the show.
Truth.
Awesome.
Good grilling.
So the first thing I want to talk about, as you all know, we ran a competition on Twitter for 2 weeks. And in front of me, I have a list of the participants and a number generator. So I'll show you the list. I don't know if you can actually see. There's the list.
Yeah.
It's here. So I've given each participant a number, obviously from 1 to 16. There's 16 participants. I got a number generator, so I'm just going to do that real quick and we find out the winner. So, number 7.
Who is it, yeah?
That is...
He can't count.
Standard. That is Sue Butler.
Happy days.
There we go. Long
Well
time
done.
listener. Yeah, just to show I'm not cheating, she's number 7 on the list.
Yeah, we still can't see it, yeah.
Go fuck yourself, Steve. Go fuck yourself. So well done, Sue. We will get in touch for your address and send her your package.
Well done, Sue.
No,
One more other thing.
Andrew will send the package.
Yeah. One other thing. We have a listener sent us in these extreme hot shots, ghost chili pork scratchings. So what we're going to be doing, sorry Jeff, you haven't got a pack. It wouldn't have got to you in time.
You have pork scratchings in the US of A, Jeff?
Pork scratchings?
Yeah.
We have pork cracklings.
Pork cracklings, yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Fried pork rinds.
To be fair, we call it pork
It's not good
scratching.
stuff.
On the pack, it's pork crackling.
Oh, is
How
it?
about that?
So we are saying it wrong all along, boys.
Oh, yeah. These... Oh, no, they are. Yeah, these are
So,
the gross ones.
We're actually going to be eating these during the show. So if you see us sweating or panting, blame Nathan. Cheers, Nathan, send them in. So first things first, Steve, can I see you eat one?
Cheers.
No, you can't.
You know, I know how much you can't stand pork crackling, so just eat one. Steve, take one and you put it in your mouth.
Oh, shit, they are pretty hot.
You're not bad.
I don't like them. I can't stand them.
Put it in
Yeah,
your mouth and
gross.
suck it.
Just don't look at it.
Just imagine it's a man's testicles, Steve. You know you like men's testicles.
Whoo, it's got some meat.
He's
Yeah,
got
they're
the
pretty
trash
hot.
can away.
All eyes on Steve right now.
They're gross.
Steve.
Steve, I'm quite proud. Fuck, they're quite hot. What do you reckon, boys?
I've
Yeah,
just pinned Steve's picture now.
don't use their gags, I'll be out here.
Anyway,
Oh, my fucking God.
while you're watching him gag.
Oh, God.
On today's show, we got some news. We had tech, myths, tales, and legends. We're going to be talking about UFOs. We're going to put Andy on the spot as usual. The topic of the week this week, we're going to be talking about Jeff and his podcasting. We got the results of the arena fight. Morgan's going to give us a thought of the week and end of the show quiz with Steve. Steve, we finished?
Not bad.
They are absolutely revolting.
I agree, Steve. Yeah.
To the listener, thank you very much. Go fuck yourself.
The thing is, all you're going to hear on the podcast is...
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Got my chest a bit, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, they got a little kick to him, innit? They got a nice little heat to him, like.
More good reckon.
Yeah, good. Well, apart from the fact that pork scratchings are made out of pork holes and shit.
Don't know.
Steve, you just said
The
it
spice
takes
is
our
good.
soul, but
It's
You a fan, Jeff?
revolting. They are absolutely revolting.
yeah, if you're a fan, you like pork cracklings?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real men, eat them.
Real.
Real men.
That's why, look, I got a normal pack.
Oh, that's why you've got a 6-week training program, Songs.
A 9-week training program.
15 weeks for you, sir.
Again, Jeff, right there.
Anyway, lads, let's get on the news. Mugs.
Put it on me first,
Actually, sorry, Jeff, have we got news this week? I forgot to ask you if we got any.
I do indeed have news.
Oh.
We'll go to Morgan first, then you can give yours, I give mine. Go on, Mugs.
I couldn't find anything decent, but I did find that Sony is giving away free gifts to disappointed PS Plus subscribers because apparently the games this month were really shit.
They were awful.
I like Farming Simulator. I'm a fan of that.
What?
So yeah, it's a good game. I like it. But anyway, I forgot what was the other one. Farming Simulator and what? It was like
Some
a
other
sport.
farming one, wasn't it, something? Oh, Sim City or Sim...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, like a Skyline game, like, you know.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Something
But-
shit.
They are quite hot, boys.
To be honest, I don't think it's going to make people much happier because they've given them a free subscription, 2 months of Funimation, which is like an anime streaming service.
Right.
And every time I've used Funimation, it hasn't fucking worked. So I'm waiting for the people to get even more pissed off.
Oh, they probably fixed it, knowing that what they're going to give. They probably fixed
Yeah,
it.
maybe. But I've subscribed to that service like twice to watch Attack on Titan, and I've still not finished watching it because it's so bad.
Attack on Titan's amazing, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Jeff, what news you
Yeah.
got for us?
So, as I am a retired sailor in the United States Navy, I tend to keep up with shit from there, right?
Yeah.
The U.S. successfully tested a laser weapon that can destroy aircraft mid-flight.
Whoa.
Yeah, for real. An offensive laser. They've been working on this since like 2016 or 17, and USS Portland was out in the Pacific Fleet and successfully tested a high-energy directed laser weapon and blew up a drone mid-flight.
Fuck.
So,
That's good,
What
but also
does the
terrifying at the
laser
same time.
whoa, one at a time, fellas.
Sorry, what does the laser actually do? What is its destructive ability?
It's the energy that it directs onto the aircraft or boat. Basically, just cooks it.
Jesus.
So it's a
Yeah.
death ray.
It's a death ray.
It's a death ray. Yeah, it's it's the magnifying glass on little ants.
Yep.
Yeah.
150 kW. So
My dreams of having the Death Star become a reality is that much closer.
it is, especially when you consider that our Air Force is also mounting an offensive laser on the AC-130 gunship.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so they can basically direct a laser down onto a building or a vehicle and blow it up too.
That's crazy.
That reminds me of, I don't know if many of you are gamers, Morgan being you a gamer, but that reminds me of that weapon from Gears of War.
I never played much.
And the laser comes down from the sky.
Oh yeah, there's
The hammer of God or the hammer of something.
yeah, same as some Call of Duty. I'm sure there was like a laser strike or something.
That's pretend, though, Jack.
Yeah.
But it reminds me, that's always a Death Star, Steve. But it's coming to reality.
Well,
I'm working on building my own Death Star, boys.
we were talking about this a few weeks ago, weren't we? We were talking about, was it World War One, I believe, it was they started looking into a death ray,
Yeah.
and that's where sonar came from.
Yeah. Who's the? There was an inventor. I can't remember who it was. This was from ancient Greek not mythology, but ancient Greece or ancient Rome. And he was trying to build a death ray, and he was using the sun's rays, magnified it onto ships. I saw a Mythbusters episode on it too.
Fuck yeah. Well, that's where the sonar come from, isn't it?
Yeah, using their shields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was. I'll try and look it up. That's awesome news.
Right. For me, we've all seen. I don't know if we've all seen, but Batman versus Justice League.
Okay.
Have you all seen the Justice League?
Nope.
Aye.
You have, Steve. Jeff, you seen the Justice League movie?
Yeah, I think so.
We've all thought it was pretty shit. Yeah. What happened was Snyder was making it, and then he stopped, and Joss Whedon took over. Well, in 2021, which is next year, they're releasing a Snyder cut of the Justice League. So it's like Zack Snyder's vision of the old film. So it could actually be decent.
Yeah,
Or it could be more shit.
yeah, it could
Probably.
even worse.
Yeah, because did Ben's
Affleck?
Yeah, Affleck said fucking he was pissed off about it, wasn't he? Like he was doing it because he's saying that Justice League was not a top movie, but when it got made from the beginning to the end of the movie, when the bit where they cut out and different director, the whole story or the whole structure changed, and he was pissed off about how he was.
Yeah.
So that's why he's not doing it then, is he?
He said
Going forward.
that's what he said. He weren't doing it going.
No, Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Nah, I think he just stepped down.
The same thing happened
like
with Suicide Squad, didn't it?
Yeah.
And wasn't the guy who played the Joker really pissed because they cut out like most of his
Cut out all his scenes, yeah. Thank fuck.
Yeah, I know. It was awful.
Jared
Leto, that's right. He's going to be playing Mobius, though, yeah? There's a standalone
I did, yeah.
Mobius.
That actually looks decent.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's it for news, lads. Is there anything else anyone want to bring up now before we move on to Jeff's shout out?
Yeah, why are you coughing? You struggling with those pork scratchings?
I am struggling very much, so yet I keep eating them.
They're pretty hot, but they're addictive. Yeah, they're Moorish.
Yeah,
they are Moorish.
It's good for the audio feathers, too.
It really is.
It's good.
Ruining me.
Just to point out, Jeff, you've done a couple of challenges of chilies and the likes.
Yes.
212 BC, yeah. There's a Mythbusters episode on it. It's pretty good.
Even years ago, it's always been down to destruction and war.
Yeah.
We focus more on destruction and war than we do cure and peace. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's mankind view, I suppose.
It's the human condition. We're destined to destroy ourselves.
Yeah, it's fact.
Shit, yeah.
Plus, I can't imagine anyone trying to create a death ray, anything else, bar destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talk about the human condition. I look at Steve, and I just want to punch him in the face.
That's jealousy on us.
Every time. But we got a special shout out you wanted to say?
I do, in fact. So something that we had established on Round and Round, which I may or may not continue. We shout out some good people doing good things, try to just bring them to light if folks don't already know. So the shout out this week is actually to the Canadian government.
All right.
Specifically the British Columbian government has managed to provide housing for more than 200 homeless Canadians while simultaneously bringing economic support to struggling hotels during the COVID-19 crisis. They bought a hotel. The government now owns a hotel so that they can house homeless people and put the hotel staff back to work.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that is good.
It is. It's simple. It's easy. Everybody trying to be taken care of, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, the company I work for has a partnership with a hotel company. I won't say the names just in case, but there was rumors that they were supposed to do the same, but it just sort of went under. You know, I don't understand why it didn't happen because it was a brilliant idea. But
yeah,
good job to BC for doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side of that, we had determined that it's not fair to only talk about good news. Like there are truly some people that are shit and deserve to be called out for it. So we call this part "Need Jesus" or "Get the fuck out of here with your shit." In this case, there's a woman in Florida by the way, was kidnapped. It was determined and reported on the 23rd, which was just yesterday. She's being charged with his murder.
Never.
Yeah.
The early story turns out, or the early story seems like she couldn't handle the strain of taking care of her son. So she's being charged with murder, and that woman can get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Yeah.
A woman can go fuck herself, as I would say.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah, that's
Bruce,
right.
2 seconds. This dog.
Jeff, myself, my son's severely autistic as well. I got 3 boys. My middle boy's autistic.
Good old Tyler.
Good old Tyler, yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it is hard. Yeah, I appreciate that. But there's rewards as well. There's a massive amount of rewards. Good point, in all fairness. I mean, it doesn't demand something like that.
Exactly. There's-
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking knob. In that case, lads, I think we should move on to weird tech.
But he can't know John Retractions first.
Oh, sorry, I always forget about attractions.
I love him.
This is a bit that puts me to sleep.
It was picked up last week. The word Aboriginal. Morgan?
Yes. Me, I brought that up, didn't I?
No, it wasn't you. You're clever enough.
It's probably me. And I was probably wrong.
I think it was Morgan and Dean who was right. And basically what the word meant, because as far as I was concerned, Aboriginal was Aborigines from Australia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But the word does mean basically an inhabitant of a country before other civilizations have ever got there, like American Indians and Inuits and Aboriginals, Australian Aboriginals. So it does mean someone who's already there.
Yeah. The reason I saw it, like I said, it was because I read before that Welsh was an Aboriginal language, and you just brought that onto me, and that's where I sort of realised. Oh, good.
We were talking about a bit of sneezing last week as well. I had a read up on this, just sneezing in general, like, you know. And
right.
One of the things I did pick up on was, Jeff, are you religious?
I'm not at all.
No.
So when you sneeze, what do you say?
I still say bless you because it's the social convention.
Exactly, and that's what he's picking up on was now, I'm not religious at all, but what they're trying to say is people who are atheist are supposed to say Gesundheit.
Right.
Gesundheit.
Instead of God bless you.
Well, I'm atheist, and I'd say bless you. The thing is, I don't say God bless you. I say bless you.
Doesn't matter.
Why still implies God?
I suppose if it's blessed, it does, yeah.
But why Gesundheit?
Secular.
It means good health.
Oh, okay.
So we were talking about the fact that people will say these just for the spirit of losing your soul or the likes,
That's right, yeah.
But this atheist thing, the fact that you have to comply to atheist rules as opposed to religious rules. Oh no, shit! You created a religion out of a non-religion, like, you know?
Yeah.
Something to follow. It's absolute bollocks.
Well,
now
I have to ask, Jeff, do you follow any superstitions at all?
So yeah, my kid played softball for a number of years. My youngest kid actually played for almost 7 years. So basically any diamond sport, baseball or softball, superstitions kind of fell into the, that part of our lives, whether we wanted to or not, whether it was conscious or not, so yeah. And you don't exist on a naval vessel without some amount of superstition.
Yeah, of course.
There are things you just don't do, and there are things that you always do.
Well,
do you take ladies on ships? That's supposed to be bad luck, isn't it? I'm a lady.
So, not anymore, because they're allowed to serve. I mean, they have heritage there. So
they've proven now that if you have a lucky sock or a lucky pair of pants or something before you play a sport, they've proven that it will actually make you play better.
Yeah.
How do you prove something like that?
Yeah, true.
I have no idea,
same thing,
but they are psychological, isn't it? Psychologically,
Well,
you wear
sure.
the
Yeah. It's like
It's
a
a complex
subconscious, like subconscious
Yeah.
going, well,
The
I've
total
got my,
placebo effect.
yeah, exactly, placebo effect.
I actually put a poll up on Twitter, and we never really had an outcome. It was like 50% each. It was like
Okay.
50% believe, and the other 50% was like, well, we don't believe, so we haven't
Excuse
actually
me?
had an
Yeah,
outcome.
well, it's the right thing, isn't it? 50-50. I mean,
50-50, yeah, of course it is.
But you're talking placebos. Me and Jared confirmed this the other day that up the doctors, up where we are, Jeff, they don't call it the placebo effect. They call it the Jared effect.
definitely.
Steve, do I have to bring up the time you had an ambulance because you had a pretend heart attack?
They didn't have a pretend heart attack.
Flashing lights, Jeff, flashing lights. Sirens, a lot, because Steve had a bit of heartburn.
I heard this episode. That was
Yeah, I
fun.
was gonna say it's been
That
brought up
wasn't
a few
funny.
times.
It was funny.
I got the photo to prove it.
You're sitting
Yeah.
on a.
Oh, yeah.
You're alive and breathing. It's funny now.
There was nothing wrong with me. Apparently, if you tell people on the medicals on the phone that you've got a chest pain, it's automatic ambulance.
Yeah.
We
That is
know,
true.
we know, we
Grateful
know.
for that.
I wanted to find out if I needed tablets or not. That was it.
Yeah. If I
Right,
ever,
so,
God, thank you.
do you want to bring up the results of last week's Weird Tech poll?
Hang on now. Jared, do you want to move on or do you want me to give you an apology?
Ooh, I like the sound of an apology. Go on, Steve.
Let's move on.
No, bring the apology on.
Right, going forward, I'm going to choose my words carefully from now on.
Why?
Snakes.
I knew this.
I asked what the biggest snake was.
Yeah,
Biggest venomous snake.
yeah.
I should have asked which was either the heaviest or the longest, not the biggest. So my apologies to you. You are right. The rattlesnake is the heaviest venomous snake.
I just bask in this apology, Will, and the fact that you said I was right.
You watch your background, don't fall on it. But the rattlesnake can go up to about. They found rattlesnakes about twice as heavy as the standard cobra.
Yeah.
But cobras tend to be 2 to 3 times longer on average than the rattle. So there's that. All right. So that's all you'll have now to me.
I'll accept that, Steve. And this, by the way, is recorded for like eternity as well. So
Yeah. All right,
It is. No worries. Jar, I will cut this bit out so you can keep fucking proof.
no, you leave this bit in. You leave this bit in.
Cut it out.
No, I was going to say, I cut it out
Send him
for
a
you so you can
shortcut.
keep it as proof.
Make it his ringtone. So every time Steve calls, it's I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I like the idea of that.
Can I just bring something up quick as well? It's funny enough, it's actually from Sue.
All right, yeah.
She mentioned to me earlier we was having a talk, and she brought up about last week's deja vu sort of discussion we had.
Dreams.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah,
quizzes in 2 weeks, the same one.
Sorry?
2 quizzes the same week.
Yeah. She brought up that she's also had some strange dreams, and hers consisted of a few weeks before the tragic 9/11. She dreamt about people living in tall buildings and planes flying into the windows. She woke up, told me she, not understanding this dream. A few weeks later, that happened, and also I think she said a few months, maybe if I'm wrong, but a while before the coronavirus actually happened, she was dreaming about an old sort of plague doctor, or what she explained was a guy walking around with an old cart and taking bodies out of houses and putting it onto the cart like they did in the Black Plague. And then the coronavirus started happening, which we know now is obviously killing millions of people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty creepy. And now there's a weird thing around here now, Is it a massive coincidence sometimes, or is it,
Or is it a sign?
Or are we in a simulation?
I'm
and
just
it's a
waiting.
glitch?
I'm just waiting for the text message to come on my phone.
Yeah, me. Thanks, Moggs.
I just
Every time
for that.
every time my phone goes off, I fucking shit myself.
So do I. I'm
Jeff,
getting
if you
worried.
listened to last week's podcast, Morgan had a dream a few years ago, and the dream came true.
Yeah.
And recently,
Okay.
he's had another dream saying we're gonna have a fucking F1 bomber.
It said whatever this means. F1 strike inbound and take thing. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but it was just one of those dreams that felt so real. But obviously, when I woke up, I was like, "Did it happen?" And then I just checked my phone, and obviously it didn't. So yeah, it was one of those
Every
really
time my
weird
phone
things.
goes off, I shit myself. Thanks, Morgan.
F1 strike inbound. Take
Hey, Andrew.
Yes.
Do you take?
Hang on, and then Jeff comes on and says, "But death ray."
He does.
Is the name? Is that what they name in the death rate?
Coincidence?
The F1.
No, maybe.
Coincidence.
F1 strike inbound. No.
Anyway, let's move on to weird tech. So last week's poll, the lunch bag fucking won it, 61.5%. The anti-theft fucking lunch
3
bag.
of the worst fucking tech I've ever seen.
I'm buying it.
The rocket book wave came in at 23.1%, and the bird feeder chopping board came in at 15.4%.
Who picked the death? Who picked the board of death?
Anyway, the first weird tech I'm going to show you, because you lot have seen it, but Jeff haven't. Yeah, look.
An helmet.
Is that a cycling helmet?
Yeah, it's not going to stop me getting hurt on a bike, is it?
Right?
I laughed when I saw this.
This is called an iGrow laser hair rejuvenation system.
What?
What?
Oh.
Are you telling me I can grow my hair?
There we go. So this is called, I said it.
Oh, there's hope.
There's hope.
An iGrow laser hair rejuvenation system.
Okay.
Why does it have headphones?
Right, so I'm going to explain everything now, Jeff. Give me 2 minutes. I'll explain everything now.
This is scientific.
Yeah, so what it
From
does
Russian
is
birds.
it's designed to compact allogeneic alopecia.
What?
It is just
He's
designed...
what?
Wait, I'm reading it. Right, yeah.
No, the first word, Andrew.
Oh my God.
Androgeneric.
Okay.
Right? Now it promotes hair growth. It leaves hairs feeling thicker and fuller. Safe and non-invasive solution. Easy to wear at home, and it's just visible in 4 months of treatment. Right? Now, what it includes is an iGrow helmet. You get a controller. You also get 3 adapters: a UK, US, and EU adapter, charging cable, and headphones so you can listen to music when you're fucking having your treatment.
Nice. Because you can't
So-
bring it on.
So people are going to be walking around like they got bicycle helmets on their head with fucking UFO mufflers in.
Grow on the go.
Right?
Call it.
So the combination of the features within the iGrow laser hair rejuvenation system makes it a best-in-the-class device that delivers real results. Using low light therapy, or LLT as it's called, scientific, to stimulate hair growth. So it picks the hair follicles and the molecules, and after 4 months, it makes your hair thicker and fuller.
Price?
So- Go on.
Go on, no more. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, so it doesn't cure baldness, it just makes your hair thicker.
But it makes your hair grow as well,
Does it?
You have to
Does
have
that
hair
on
to
his
grow.
own.
right? So the scalp,
I think I've lost.
I'll repeat again. Look, using the low light therapy to stimulate hair growth, the light penetrates the scalp and energizes the hair follicles and molecules to encourage natural hair growth. Unlike handheld laser devices, the helmet style of the iGrow covers a large amount of the scalp and means that the laser is at the closest possible to the hair follicles, allowing the device to deliver maximum regrowth.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
Give us a price, Andrew.
a lot.
£347.
No, I'm happy.
No,
I'm
it
happy
was-
shaving my head.
That's on the bank holiday sale. It's normally that's normally £579.
So that's about what? $390?
Something like that, yeah.
422.
422. So it's 300.
$22.
Right, let's vote.
Wait there.
I
wait
got
there,
it.
Wait.
What?
So I mark these down, see? So I always mark these down so I know which one's buying and buying or not, see?
Right, well,
Always.
I've got it. I'm fine. Can I just stop? Can I just say earlier on, I was up Steve's, and Steve bent down like this, and he's balding on the top. So, Steve, there he is, look! There he is!
Where?
You're balding bad, Steve.
On the
I know.
crown.
It's the grey, it's all.
No. It's the pink skin of your crown.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking...
All it is I have that haircut. It's lots of long hair. It's pulling away from the centre point. That's all it's doing.
Gravity. Wonderful.
Nothing to be worried about.
I'll vote. 1, I got it, and 2, I just don't want it. So, I'm out.
Jared's out.
Mm.
Morg?
Me. If in 1 year's time people have tried it and they've said it's actually cured it, I'm in, but nah.
Do you want air there, Mugs? Is that what you're trying to tell us? You want your air back?
Not right now. I would rather. I'm happy. I've always said it's weird.
After the show, I will send you some videos and I'll send you some the website I looked at. And
Proof that it works. Yeah.
Proof that it works.
If someone's as bald as me and then wakes up with a luscious long head of hair, I'll be surprised.
Like waking up like Thor.
Yeah, like a Simpsons episode when Homer gives his hair back.
Yeah.
Like,
Steve?
like I was talking to my dad the other day. Sorry, I was talking to my dad, and Jared obviously knows he's bald as well. And he asked me, like, would if you had your hair just magically grew back, would you like grow your hair? And we both agree that I don't think we would. I think we so used to just shaving it now and keeping it short. It's just habit. I think hair would be more annoying to me these days. But yeah,
So why grow it on your chin then if it's that annoying?
because my face looks weird without the.
Walking around with a flip top head.
Because if he never had that beard, he'd look like a fucking baked bean.
Yeah.
Jeff? In or
No.
out? No?
Absolutely not. I shaved my hair for 12 years, something like that.
Yeah.
When I got out of the Navy, I started growing. This will grow until it gets annoying, and then I'm shaving it and going to skin. So.
Jared and Steve would probably tell you, importantly more, because I normally have a bald head. Like, years ago, I was just bald. And like I said, I got sick and tired of being bald.
I sort of sick and
But soon as this gets fucking worse, then I'm back bald.
Yep.
Steve, in or out?
Right, so obviously Soxy's out because if he grows his hair to turn into a curly perm, you were out because you will turn into a curly perm, Jared. Soxy might be in if he turns upside down so he can grow a beard instead. And if I am going bald, I'll take it as graceful as the grey came.
Good man.
I'm out.
Socks, number 2. Right.
Number 2.
Please.
What that? It looks like a cage.
It's terrible. I can know exactly what it is straight away.
It looks like a cage. It's a cage.
So this is a shredder hamster cage.
Oh, right.
Right. So
I'll tell you for why.
The hamster wheel operator, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So a shredder hamster cage. Right. The hamster will go into the reel. You put the paper in, and it fucking reels the paper down and shreds his bed for him.
Oh.
Or
you
can do it yourself, right? But when I was reading up on this, right?
I am not jumping into any hamster's cage going all the wheel.
But what I was trying to say was, right, when I looked up at this, you still got to take the cage off to clean the hamster cage to put clean bedding down, right? And
obviously you have.
Yeah, but they're saying this is the most clean as the cage can be when you fucking shred paper into it. But it's
how much, Andrew? How much?
20 quid.
Oh.
No.
That's
about $32 for you, Jeff. Is it 34, something like that?
Oh, stop
Something
trying
like
to
that.
good sums.
Stop it.
It's
Check it out.
$25, which is probably the cheapest hamster cage I've ever heard of. So
Yeah. Is that for the whole hamster cage, or is it just the top?
No, the whole hamster cage.
That's true then. Yeah, it's pretty
Right.
cheap. But...
Can I start? My son's got hamsters, Tubby and Chubby. Lovely Little Things. That's their name, Stubby and Chubby. Lovely Little Things. I'm in. I'm absolutely in. They're on the wheel thing all the time. They can shred their own bed. Fucking great. I'm in, boys. I'm buying it. I am buying it.
Charles in.
You have no proper thought process of it.
None.
Jared Tab is
it.
adding up for Soxy's shop. I'm telling you what. He fucking keeps buying stuff. You haven't fucking paid for it yet, I think.
Oh, Mox, I'm in debt, but I'm in big debt with fucking Soxy's
Soxy's
shop.
going to be calling his tab in soon. But
Soxy's shop is fucking going bankrupt with me.
I'm waiting for him to fucking pick these fucking light blocks up. He still haven't picked them up. Still haven't picked them up.
Mox?
nah, no use for it whatsoever.
No.
Jeff?
Absolutely no use.
Nah.
Why,
No.
Jeff? No,
Well-
no, Jeff.
Oh, wait.
Explain to Jared why.
No, Jeff got a well, so I want to hear this well. Come on, Jeff.
All right. A, I don't have hamsters.
It's a good start.
Thanks. B, if I had hamsters, no. Because
Brilliant.
thanks. I mean, I try. It just seems it's one of those things you would find in the mall kiosk that during Christmas that they try to force on you, and the what amounts to a carnival barker. They won't leave you alone as you're walking down the aisle, and you're just like, get away from me before I stab you. But
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
absolutely not. It's a gimmick. It's a gimmicky gimmick. It'll break. Something will get bloody. It will not turn out.
I'm going to try every week because I bought the bird feeding one last week, right? And the hamster this week. I'm going to try every week to try an animal one every week.
Get an animal one.
Right, now, for me now, there, right, I got a couple of problems there, right? The poor fucker got to work for his bed.
So do we all.
Well, exactly.
I mean, this is just enforcing capitalism on a small rodent that has no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Yes, Jeff, but you're not in a cage at the same time.
We're all in a cage.
Aren't
Steve.
we, though?
We're all in a cage.
Aren't we though?
At the moment, yeah, okay.
This cage that we've built ourselves.
Especially with
Caves
lockdown.
of you.
Yeah. Or mine.
Now, how many times have you put paper in a shredder and it gets stuck? Well, this hamster's turning the shredder by wheel.
Well,
If
the
it gets
hamster
stuck,
is just
he's
going to
going
have
to
to try
break his
harder.
neck. He'll be going, the paper, he won't beat the paper, I'm doing that. He'll be going round and round and round, poor fucker.
So I take his
It did
sleeves
look
out.
like
I take his sleeves out.
I only as animal rights. I don't think any.
Get the eyes off, look.
I don't think any animal in a cage that size should have to work for his bed.
Well, if he was in the wild, he'd have to work for his bed, wouldn't he?
wood.
Yes, but not every time. He makes his bed, he jumps in it. This one, you turn up, take his bed away, and go, there you
Right.
are.
Can I just point out, right, my son's hamsters are constantly on the wheel. They love it. They just love running. Just love it, they do.
Yeah, but this one's got gears behind it. The other one's got freewheel running.
You got a
The
small
hamster's
point.
going to be ripped
These
by the end of the week.
They're suddenly going uphill.
It's going to be one big fucking hamster.
He'd be running 100 meters quicker than fucking Usain Bolt.
Yes, he will.
And John,
Anyway.
and John Olumu.
Let's go on to number 3, Andrew. We attack number 3.
Jeff, I picked this one for you, right?
Awesome.
Because of the picture on it, right?
Oh, no.
It was pretty
What's
cool.
that, Jeff?
That's
Okay.
like a wine fucking holder or something.
Yeah, it just looks like a drinks cabinet with American flag in the front.
Oh,
Alcoholic
did it have an
American-
American flag? I didn't see that.
I'll show you again, John.
It's a cool.
I see no American flag, Andrew.
Why is
Really?
that weird, Ted?
Oh, I can see you now. Yeah.
Right, this is weird because this is called a Speakeasy wall fault.
Wall vault.
Yeah, a wall fault.
Right. I know where this is going.
Go on then.
Right, Andrew. Go on, you tell us first, and I will ask you a question.
Yeah, no worries.
We try in.
Right, so most people have like alcohol or special fucking items that you want to keep safe away from their grandchildren or kids, and you don't want to break them and stuff. Now this vault puts all the stuff into it, and it recognizes by your fingerprint or by your voice to activate it. And you can put all this stuff into it on a wall, like an ornament or like a picture, and it opens up with your fingerprint or your voice.
Steve, you can hide your alcohol from me. How much is it?
Yeah.
So
My alcohol.
the price,
No.
the price of it is $219.
What?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Right, can I ask you a question anyway, Andrew?
Go on then.
Why is it called a speakeasy?
Why is it called a speakeasy?
Yeah.
Because you can talk to it. That's the reason
It's
why I don't.
easy.
And it's easy
Very
to talk to.
easily.
It's a clever double entendre.
Jeff, don't tell him. Don't tell him, Jeff. Steve, do you know it's called a speakeasy?
Yeah, 'cause you speak to it and it's very easy to get your drink from it.
Seriously, you don't know? You don't know why it's called a speakeasy?
I don't know.
Moggs?
No.
Go on and tell us why.
Fact. During the prohibition in America, when they banned in alcohol, they had these fucking underground clubs and they call them speakeasies.
Speakeasies. Okay, yeah. I have heard the term.
Jeff, you knew that, yeah?
Hello, America.
Anyways, yeah, it's $219, and yeah, you can put up to fucking how many items on any alcohol, your fucking special.
Yeah, and obviously with this item, you're hiding your alcohol, and that's what they done during the prohibition.
Yeah.
They fucking
Obviously, I had to hide it, yeah.
hide the alcohol, yeah, because alcohol was banned.
Yeah.
So that's why it's called speakeasy.
That's pretty cool. I like the design of it.
I have no need to hide my alcohol, so it's no good to me. I'm out. Much?
Jeff.
Yeah.
Why are they called speakeasies? Why were the speakeasies called speakeasy?
I don't know.
Phrases.
What was it, sorry?
They used passphrases or passwords to get in.
Okay.
There we are, John.
Cool.
If you didn't have the word, you didn't get in.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Nice.
They also had pretty dope hidden entrances too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like behind bookshelves and stuff, or like in hidden alleys and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Would-
Like the John Wick places, yeah. With John Wick's hideouts are.
With the coins, you just put a coin on the table. So, what do you buy your mugs?
Like for the design and stuff, I love stuff like that. Especially like bare metal. I love like stuff like that. But 200 and what's that? About 200 quid. They say is it 290 quid? That seems a bit exy for that. Like it's quite pricey for me. So I wouldn't buy that.
Are you out or are you in?
Yeah, I'm out. It's too pricey.
I'm out. It's not for me. Jeff?
No, if I want to keep my alcohol away from my children, I tell them don't touch that shit.
Yeah.
There are so many things that are marketed to this idea of keeping your children safe or whatever, and I'm kind of a proponent of A, being a parent, and B, I believe in Darwin's theory.
Jeff, if Darwin's theory was true though, Soxy Andrew wouldn't be here.
Yeah, Socks, I'm with you as well, mate.
I'm fucking gone, bud.
Yeah, by the way,
I
so
wouldn't
Mike,
lie.
I've no way in a million years I'm eating that dust.
Yeah,
Do it.
I won't lie. The
Sort it.
last.
I'll do it. I don't give a shit. I'll do it.
Do you want to do it,
Ah,
Socks,
fuck
with
it,
me?
go on Andrew, me and you do it now.
I'll do it.
I'm in too.
Go on, Moggs.
Fuck, the last couple of bites was hurt, didn't he?
That was a stupid fucking deal with it.
Oh, mine's not bad. Mine's just really salty.
Oh,
A little bit spicy.
Oh. Nah.
I'll say that it's building up.
oh.
Oh yeah, it's
Steve, why
coming.
are you making a face? You had like 2 pork scratchings.
Oh, that was my second one.
Put another one in his
Oh.
mouth.
And it was the little one as well.
Oh yeah, it's built up now.
That's quite.
Fucking yeah, my throat's burning.
Steve, you did it the wrong way around. The little ones reduce and absorb all of the flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Really?
know.
you're much better off to eat a large one with a lot of air.
I'm fine with the flavour of the spices and all that. I can't stand pork scratches. Give me the spice all day long. These bunch of princesses here, no drama queening about how hot it is. It's pig skin, man. It's pig skin.
So, Steve, are you in? Or you fuck my mouth burning?
I'm mine. And I go,
I'm in your mouth burning.
Are you in or you out?
Oh no, I'm out. This I don't see the point. It's like you said. The only person I got to keep my alcohol away from is you.
Yeah.
I've generated a situation where you can't come to my house anyway. So.
Oh, Morgan's suffering, here. Sorry,
I'm fucking
Steve.
suffering. I gotta get a drink.
Is it,
Tip of my tongue is fucking on fire.
It's hit the back of my throat like fucking us. Wow.
So,
Under my tongue. It's under my tongue.
Oh.
Like it's like it's a flip on it.
Fucking sweat's dripping off.
Fucking hell. Who did you that, Jeff? Thanks for that, Jeff.
Oh, what I want to see is Dane doing it.
yeah, we should make Dane do it.
Right under my tongue's burning.
I mine.
Anyway, so results from this week's Weird Tech.
You already told us.
Wait,
you already told us.
No, the iGrow, no one will buy. The hamster fucking shredder, Jared will buy.
Yeah.
And then the Speakeasy fault, no one will buy.
No.
There we go.
Right, anyway.
Before we move on,
Yeah.
I'm in agony now, but I wanted to ask guys something quick. So, over here, we get a lot of like US flags as decorative things. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
Like a lot of rock things, there's always like a US flag. Do you have the British flag for anything? Like any sort of weird.
Or the Welsh flag, Jeff. The Welsh flag.
Or the coolest
Okay,
flag
so-
in the world.
That is not a flag, Stephen.
Keep your clothes on, Steve.
I'm trying, Jeff. It's not easy.
So,
In fact, no, Jeff, it's not the first time you see me with my top on.
No.
hey. So there is, particularly with music or whatever, like, you'll find band T-shirts and posters, whatnot, with the British flag. I've never seen the Welsh flag until you all were talking about it on Twitter and trying to make it better.
It is like the best flag in the world, Jeff. It's got a dragon on it.
When I was traveling,
You don't have to tell me. I have no skin in the game.
Flag.
So,
Is that?
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
I love telling people that. Oh yeah, we're the ones with the dragon on our flag, and they're like, "What? Why you got a
It was like
dragon?"
get
I'm like,
voted the greatest flag or something. I'm sure we got voted the best flag in the world.
Probably.
Oh. Anyway, I think we move on to Myths, Tales and Legends, lads. I can't speak. I'm sorry. I'm still in pain. I'm still in fucking pain. Right, anyway, this week we got these. I can't speak. Steve, take over, bud. Now.
I don't know what it's about.
UFOs.
Oh,
Anyway, Jeff, you said you had that. Was that Mox?
Oh, go on. I'll bring it up at the end. Actually, I'm in agony.
No worries. He's in agony. Jeff, you did say you had this week you're talking about UFOs and UFO sightings. Particularly, I've got a few stories actually from the military side of it, but you yourself said you witnessed them.
So let's stipulate to a couple of definitions first.
Yeah.
UFO, unidentified flying object, right?
Yeah.
That's what that means is just there's something in the sky and you don't know what it is, right?
Of course it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Usurped by the alienists, right? People that believe in it, and everything that is termed a UFO is a flying saucer alien craft, right?
Yeah.
So the Navy in particular, and more governmental people have changed it to UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, to make that distinction, which will probably come out later if you're talking about the Navy videos that came out from 2015. So I'm not saying I saw an alien spacecraft or anything. What I am saying is that somewhere around 2008 or 2009, I was driving back to my house. We were out for the day or whatever, driving back. It was late enough that it was full dark, and there was 3 or 4 lights that were arranged in kind of a chevron shape. They were greenish white. They were flying through the sky in a very, very tight pattern. Like this, they were kind of distant, but they were maintaining their separation and maintaining the same flight path. These lights.
So nothing, flying in formation, really.
Right. They were flying in a formation. That's, I mean, as far as the lights go. But then the motion became really weird, like erratic kind of, but also those lights were maintaining their positions relative to one another. So it kind of became apparent that they were attached to the same thing. And that's when it kind of got like, what the fuck is this up in the sky?
Yeah.
So I pulled off on the side of the road and just sat to watch. And it was probably 5 or 7 minutes long where this thing was doing its thing in the sky. And I don't know what it was, but I know
that's
it was
quite
weird.
a long time as well, isn't it? For something to.
Now, I sent you all maps because I like to reference maps. Where I lived was across the Chesapeake Bay from a place called Patuxent River Naval Air Station. They fly some test articles out of there. They'll do some test flights of new aircraft or updated aircraft or whatever out of Pax River. So it's not unusual to see things that aren't common or every day. I mean, we had the Death Box, the V-22 Osprey, was flying over our house regularly years before it entered service officially.
Yeah.
And that's cool and all, but this was definitely not something that looked, acted, or it did not do normal things, particularly when after flying in this odd kind of flight path, the next thing was vertical until out of sight at a rapid rate. So it was pretty like, Jesus, what did I just see?
Yeah.
You know, it was wild. And I'm looking at my wife, and like, my kids were asleep in the back of the van, talking with my wife, and we're just watching this thing happen for, you know, like I said, 5 to 7 minutes easy.
And did they just like disappear, or did they fly off, or
It went straight up until I couldn't see it anymore at a rather rapid clip. Like, it was just gone.
Well, let me just ask a quick question.
That is cool. That's cool.
That is very cool. Let me ask a quick. I can't speak. I'm still burning. Quick question to you all. Andrew, pay attention.
I am. Sorry.
Google it. Do you actually, like, we start from Andrew. Do you actually believe in UFOs or aliens? Start from you.
Again, no. Like I said on previous. Wait. On previous things, right? Until it's fucking proven and all that stuff, then that's why I don't fucking believe it.
You read the Bible twice.
Oh, here we go.
Morgs,
he believed it.
Morgs?
Like I said, I think it's crazy to think that there isn't any other life in the universe, even in the galaxy. It's fucking massive.
I'm with you.
I mean, even the people who say about the Goldilocks effect, the fact that how perfect our planet is to harbor life.
Exactly.
Really, is there no other planet that is just this far away from the sun and is able to develop life? You know, it's just crazy to me. Whether there's intelligent life is a different story.
Yeah. My belief is there is life out there. There's something out there because, like I said, we got this galaxy and we got multiple galaxies and it just goes further on and on. There's got to be, in my opinion, something out there, whether it's bacteria to intelligent life. I don't know if they can visit us. I don't know any of this. But I think, and I don't believe in paranormal and anything. I'm a skeptic and an atheist.
Do a paranormal.
No, I'm just saying, but I don't believe in...
What's got to do with UFOs?
Shut the... Go fuck yourself. So anyway, I believe... There's got to be something, in my opinion. There's got to be. Steve, you?
I'm starting to consider what's classed as life on this planet at the moment.
Or intelligent life, anyway.
Pretty similar to yourself. I'm sure there's something out there, but I don't believe it's here. Besides us.
Yeah.
Jeff?
I don't believe we've been visited. So
I think there has to be, strictly based in the numbers, similar to what Morgan thinks, right?
Yeah.
There are far too many planets and far too many galaxies and far too many universes, right? That there has to be. And the Fermi paradox is like I don't understand how that gains so much traction because y'all know the story of the Fermi paradox.
I don't know.
No.
No,
Okay,
I
so-
don't think I do.
Enrique Fermi was I believe a physicist or I don't know. I'm going to go with physicist. He was working at Los Alamos with a bunch of other smart people, sitting around a lunch table one day. They were talking about aliens, and he says simply, "If there is intelligent life in other places, where are they? We should have seen them by now." With the fundamental truth of his idea is that if there are other places that had developed intelligent life, they would have already surpassed our development as a species, right? Because you have to get to a certain point in the culture that you can develop interstellar travel and all this shit. Right?
Yeah.
So they must have, if there were somebody else, some other race out there of aliens that are whatever, then they should have already developed. And my counter to that is why?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It took us this long to get where we're at. Like we're still less than able to do interstellar travel, right? And maintain our life and our lifespans. So why isn't it just as likely that there are many other alien races out there that are at the same point in development or even behind us? You know, if the Big Bang happened and all things started from that moment, then if you imagine that expanding out in time and in space, right? And we're all hitting the wickets kind of plus or minus the same time.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's much more likely that as we develop to that point where we're going to go colonize Mars, and then we start looking to the outer reaches of the solar system for human travel, that's kind of the point where all of a sudden, like, everybody shows up.
But
then
I'm
no space guy. I don't fucking know, but that seems just as likely as being this wonderfully perfect flat thing existing in space on the firmament with a dome over the top and a giant conspiracy to make us believe in something different.
The way I look at it is, as humans, if we had the technology to actually visit these other planets or whatever, and we found intelligent life, would we just hover above every now and again? Or would we actually just land and say, let's have a look what the fuck's going on? What would we do? Because as aliens and sightings, they seem to just hover, and we see them, and now and again they have the odd abduction. So as humans, would we go to these planets? Would we abduct and observe, or would we land and...
Well,
that's the way
this is something I've brought up before, and you like a good example I brought up was I forgot the island again, but there's an island off the coast of Africa, and it's literally untouched by us. We won't go there, and now we've even gone to the point where we're saying, do not even enter with armed forces and make them stop hurting us because we don't want to get involved. And it makes me think, if there was an advanced civilization that's, like you said, is able to do interstellar travel, would they find us and be like, wow, look at that, you know, fucking ancient tribe down there, like, call it, looking at us and being like, don't interfere with them, we need to let them crack on and you know, sort out for ourselves. But again, another thing I've brought up on the podcast while I was on it before was the fact that we don't know, going to Jeff's point, like we're all in the same sort of position. None of us really know on Earth how long a civilization can last. Look how many civilizations have come and gone.
There's been,
Mayans came and they went. The ancient Egyptians came and they went. You know, the
Aztecs.
These things, you know, they get wiped out, or war comes, and then another tribe comes in and takes over, and you know, starts again, and they ignore us. You know, look at the coronavirus right now. Is this the end of our sort of tech advancements? Do we go backwards? An ice age, you know, there's so many things that can just knock you back, and then you can almost never get to the point of interstellar. But
I reckon that aliens did visit us, right? And they were like, oh, that must be civilization down there. They abducted like a sheep or a cow. It's like, yeah, they got no chance. Put them back. Let's get the fuck out there.
Or aliens come and visit us, and it's like a fucking safari park.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
Look at these wild animals down here, friends.
Which
Exactly.
would mean
Or-
hovering, Jared.
The South Park theory that we are just a reality TV show, and that there's actually millions of planets of cows, a planet of horses, a planet of lions, a planet of humans, and then they just grabbed a few of each, chucked them on Earth, and then see what would happen. And they're really just watching us as entertainment. we're just nothing. We just got no point. We're just wandering around with a bunch of different aliens already.
Well, I have two stories anyway. Not so much stories, but they're not stories. They're just things I wrote down actually. So please don't ask me details, right? Do not ask details.
I love this man's research.
Come on, Steve.
Anyway, the Rendlesham Forest in 1980, the Royal Air Force base in Suffolk, over a series of nights, saw a UFO landing. And these were like military men. They actually seen the UFO. It landed and like the trees had broken and everything. Explain that. And you'd be talking military men. I know it was 1980, but even to this day, they don't know what the fuck they saw or what landed.
Again, could be.
I already got a problem.
A jump jet. It could be an early version of a jump jet.
Well, 1980 would have been an early version of a jump jet. Harriers were well and good in service, but that story is fucking remarkable because they were tracked. They're not only visually sighted, they were tracked on radar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sites and everything about the flight path. Like the Royal Air Force explained it away as whatever it was. It was a flight of these aircraft going from A to B. Except A to B was in. If A to B were west, then this thing was flying east, and they were corroborating witnesses from like north of the path of travel, south of the path of travel. There were the aircraft that saw it. There were radar that saw it. Everything corroborating this thing, and they just completely deny it. It's a wicked story. It's one of the most.
That's cool. I'll look into it.
Can I ask a question?
Rendlesham Forest, yeah.
Can I ask some question?
Yeah.
If these aliens have come all this way and they've got this technology and the likes, how come they're not very good at parking their ship?
How about
You got broken trees and branches. I would have thought you'd land somewhere without tree, or near the covering, not destroy trees or land. You know, I'm not very good at parking. I'll be honest with you. I bumped a few things. If I'm gonna go into Stella, I'd like to think I'd be good enough to park.
maybe those trees really caused no damage at all?
Yeah, maybe there was nothing to the ship.
Maybe it is literally not even a concern to them.
The same as us walking over a bed of grass.
Yeah.
But if I was the pilot, that'd be reputation with it. I would.
You want to keep it clean.
The grass is a perfect like analogy though. Park on the grass, zero
Like
effect. I'm sure the little caterpillar down there is like, why do these idiots always park on these beautiful grass?
We just destroyed acres of the land. Micro acres.
Another story is the Tehran UFO sightings in 1976.
Go on.
Iranian military had multiple calls from citizens saying of unusual lights in the sky. When one of the commanding officers went to look, he seen the lights himself and ordered pilots to go up in F-4 fighter jets to investigate. The pilots reported a lot of malfunctions on the planes, including weapons not working. They were ordered to fire upon the lights, ordered to fire upon the objects, but the weapons malfunctioned and everything.
That's weird.
Yeah, to this day, the pilots and the Iranian fucking officers have said that what they seen was unexplainable.
That was 79?
1970, I think it's 9, Jeff. Let me just check. If my phone works. 1976.
Oh, 76. All right. I'll refrain from commenting.
No, comment away.
So in 76, this is prior to the overthrow of the Shah and everything, right? The F-4s that they got straight from our military, I'm pretty sure they were not new.
Right.
And F-4s sucked. F-4s were developed for the wrong kind of warfare and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so they were never going to work good, and Iran can't take care of them. They couldn't when we were supporting them, and they sure as hell can't now. So to say an F4 electronics failed, is I mean, that's kind of like talking about Lucas Electrics in British automobiles.
I see. You shouldn't have refrained.
That's an analogy y'all got, huh?
We like that you said that. See, so you shouldn't refrain from saying that. That's good that you said that.
That's good.
Well, I don't like to talk bad about Iranians or anybody really.
No, but
except now.
We do factual.
Like current Iranians are scary. So
yeah. They mostly live in the mountains, so they're not too bad.
Oh no!
Is it not? Oh, they're not the ones.
No.
Oh, right.
Iran has. So Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz, right?
Yeah.
The Strait of Hormuz is a choke point that can cut off essentially 90% of the world's oil supply. It's really simple for them to do. Should the need ever rise?
Don't fuck the Iranians.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
And a lot of, at least in the U.S., a lot of people are extremely confident in our ability to win whatever war happens in the Gulf. But I don't think it's going to be as easy as people believe. Is what they lack in like technology and superiority necessarily. They make up for with numbers, pure numbers, and again a geographical advantage.
Yeah.
So, and they don't have the same morals that we do. Necessarily.
Okay.
Culturally, they there's a fundamental difference when you fight an honorable fight versus a dirty back alley, scratch match.
Of course.
Anyway,
well, I don't know if you want to talk, but being in the Navy, is there anything unexplained you ever encountered in the Navy? That's if you want to talk about it, of course.
Oh, I'm that most of everything I've ever done is unclassified, open to talk about. I'm not the latest. There are a couple of things I won't, but that's fine.
Yeah.
As far as I've known people that have seen things like the electric balls of fire and whatnot, but I've never experienced anything unexplained while on a ship and out to sea. And there's nothing like being like halfway across the Atlantic and going topside at night when you can see the sky for what it really is and truly see the vastness of space.
I can imagine.
There's it is so different than anything you can experience on land. Even if you're in the wilds of like Montana or wherever where there's no city, it's different somehow.
Yeah, I've experienced.
You are thousands of miles from land, and you look up at the sky, especially on a clear night. Like you just look up at the sky to see the depth of the stars.
Yeah.
No, sorry, go on.
No. Go ask questions.
No, I was just saying Morgan's been to the Outback, haven't you, so...
Well, not the Outback, but...
Near enough, for?
Yeah, but yeah, I've been... I mean, in Egypt was probably the first time I really saw the stars. We did... we went right out to the Sinai, and at night, and you saw the stars, and some of the things you see is crazy.
It's incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, in the Outback too, well... Outback, I mean, nowhere near the actual Outback, but
well, you closer to the Outback than I fucking was, Mark.
Yeah, but on Aussie terms, it's really not that far.
2 miles down the street.
Yeah, you see it. Like I remember seeing the Milky Way for the first ever time and the colors, and I was blown away. And it really does show. It's a shame. It's just a shame the world doesn't. I've seen this argument a few times on social media and stuff to say that why don't we have a space day, and then at that time every light on Earth just goes out for 2 hours. 2 hours of that, and you would
30 minutes
so much.
30 minutes, man.
You would see so much in the sky. It's unbelievable.
I can imagine. Yeah. Well, Jeff, obviously in America they got Roswell.
Yeah.
Have you got an opinion on that or any thoughts?
I've been to Roswell.
Yeah.
John, can see
really?
Why?
Buddy.
It's on my bucket list.
It is so Area 51, Groom Lake, Mount Winter, pick a place. there's truth to all of these things, right? There has to be. The Area 51, quote unquote, exists. Whether it exists under that name or not, Groom Lake, whatever, these places exist. How were they used? That's up for debate. Did the events of July 12th, 1949 actually happen? Don't know. I think it's July 12th. I actually have
sounds about right.
a magnet over there on my refrigerator.
Yeah.
That's a denial of all things from the U.S. Army Air Corps. Anyway, there's some amount of truth to all things, right? I mean, there's lore about President Richard Nixon taking Jackie Gleason to Key West Naval Air Station to show him, or no, not Key West Naval, Homestead Air Force Base to show him alien bodies that were some kind of cryogenic chamber or something, because Jackie Gleason just needed to know. And so
did we have cryogenics in that day though?
There was talk of it. I mean, there was science fiction written about it. We've done this amazing flip where science fiction was the stuff of like pure fantasy, and the time between written as fiction and existence as truth is narrowing, kind of like it's similar to the law of Moore's law of memory, right? Like double the memory, half the price, double the speed, half the price, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
As technology advances, we get closer and closer to the stuff of science fiction from 50 years ago, and then 40 years ago, and then 30 and 20. I mean, consider we all have Star Trek communicators, right? I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much. I mean,
particularly once we get to 5G, what that's going to enable as far as off-device cloud computing to do bigger tasks like the AR, the real-time AR mapping function, especially. That's the biggest, draw on data and bandwidth.
Yeah.
But it'll be, at the same time, it'll be amazing, and it'll be very much, the stuff of fantasy 10 years ago.
Definitely.
So do you actually think there may have been a crash at Roswell? Just simply yes or no? And
yes, there was a crash or something.
I do.
Something crashed. Yeah,
something definitely happened.
I don't think all those people, I don't think a full town of people grouped together and go, yeah, this is what we'll do. We'll all lie about
exactly, of course.
You know what I mean? Everyone says, oh yeah, definitely seen it.
There's been interviews as well from ex-military men during that time that have actually come forward and said there was something. And I'm thinking, if you're an ex-military man, you're not just going to make it up, are you? It's going to be something there, isn't it?
Yeah. Someone would come out and say, "Oh, they're all lying. Don't fucking listen to any of them." They all grouped up in a meeting and they said, "No one's ever said that."
No, of course. Well, before we move on to On the Spot, is there anything else anyone wants to add?
I wanted to bring something up actually earlier. It's got nothing to do with actual alien. Well, it's not real. But when you said about the UFO crashing in the forest. Have any of you ever
I didn't crash, it landed.
Or landed, sorry. Have any of you ever heard of the comic book series that links Indiana Jones and Star Wars?
Star Wars. I have heard that. Yeah.
So basically the Millennium Falcon with Han Solo and Chewbacca crash into a forest. As Han Solo gets killed instantly, Chewbacca runs off into the forest, becomes Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, and Indiana Jones tracks it down and then finds. So it's just this weird thing. For some reason, it popped into my head.
Yeah, that was a great crossover.
Yeah, but
Jeff, I don't know if we've ever seen Star Wars. Please tell me you've seen Star Wars.
You're a Star Wars fan, Jeff?
Star Wars fan?
Have I seen Star Wars?
Well,
you do know I'm a middle-aged white guy, right? I mean,
fair enough.
Are you a fan of Star Wars?
That is fantastic, Jeff.
That's a better question.
I actually love that T-shirt.
It's great.
Yes, I've seen it. Am I a fan? I will not watch the prequels because I didn't understand the point or the need. But yes,
Jeff, can you do me a favour? Can you just pull your camera down a little bit for Steve to see?
Okay.
Steve, look at that t-shirt.
Oh, maths.
Maths.
May the be with you.
Star Wars maths.
Oh, Star Wars. I can't see the Star Wars one. I'm on a small screen.
Do you not see the Star Wars? It's Star Wars font.
It says, "May the force be with you," except force is expressed as a formula.
Yeah, the formula.
Jared, what's the formula for force?
Whatever Jeff's got in his t-shirt.
M times V, isn't it?
MV.
MV, M times V. What
Force
is MV,
equals
socks?
mass times acceleration.
Before we move on the spot,
Velocity.
before we move on to the
Acceleration.
spot, Jeff, Doc, Steve, anything you want to add about the UFOs?
Nah.
Well, you mostly covered all of it, yeah. The only thing I sort of, what's mostly in my mind with this kind of thing is, in regards to civilizations and where they are and where we are in comparison.
Yeah.
There's one factor that stands out for all of us, as far as I'm concerned, and that is the ability for stellar travel to get from one guy to interstellar within lifetimes. And
I saw.
Where is that energy going to come from, and where's that abundant energy going to come from?
Yeah.
I know they talked about antimatter and dark space, all that kind of thing.
Dark matter.
Dark matter,
sorry. And until it's proven to be true and usable, then I'm one of those people whose imagination can only go as far as what's available to us now.
Do you think, like a scientist in the 40s or 50s, whenever it was, when they had a computer printing out a simple calculation, the size of a fucking house, would they have said, don't worry, in 50 years' time, we'll have this in our pocket, along with video play, along with communication all across the world, along with phone calls, along with this, a camera? They wouldn't have, would they? And it's
Well, hold on. That
really is amazing. Like,
think about Dick Tracy, though.
Dick Tracy.
Yeah. So the communicator, his communicator watch had video, if I'm not mistaken, in the original comics. So the notion was there, right? How you do it was beyond explanation. It was just in the context of that original comic. It was just science. It existed by it. So and there's that interesting, interrelation between fiction and fact, where which spurred which. The first space shuttle was named Enterprise.
Yeah.
Why? Because of Gene Roddenberry. It was because of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And that's not even a joke. I mean, that's a nod to,
Star Trek.
Yeah, we're finally going to space.
Well, that's what Morgan was saying, really. Years ago, you'd say something, oh, we'll have that in the future, and somebody would go, nah. But then that thing become a reality. So where we can say interstellar travel with just bollocks, another person would say, no, wait till 50 years down the line or whatever, it's going to come true type thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes to think outside the box, though, in a sense, doesn't it? Like you said, are we focused on, well, Star Trek used the warp speed, and then we try and work at warp speed, but really, is there just another way around it that's totally different? You don't know. Wormhole, teleportation.
I think we have a level of intelligence that can achieve these things. It's just a matter of, is that material there? Because it's all theory until it's found. Yeah. But is it actually there?
Yeah.
So it'd be good.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeff, that's my sound absorber.
Before Jared fucking gets attacked by the mattress, let's move on to On the Spot.
Let's move on to On the Spot.
Before we move on really quick, I wanted to bring up something that we did 2 weeks ago when we did coincidences. And I found one which I thought was really cool, because Jeff is on you too, because it's a bit of USA and UK crossing.
All right.
This is so weird. Hang on, let me just get up with the notes. So basically, Dennis the Menace. Yeah. You all know Dennis the Menace?
Hi, which Dennis the Menace? The American version of the British.
This is the crossover. So Jeff's Dennis the Menace is probably a little blonde kid, yeah?
Mr. Wilson!
Yeah, with Mr. Wilson. Ours is the black spiky head kid.
Little prick.
The little shit.
The stripy t-shirt.
The little dog.
The black and red stripy t-shirt with Nasha.
Yeah.
He's
So-
more sinister over here. That's what we say.
Yeah. Apparently, the difference is because I only remembered the film of the American Dennis the Menace, but apparently the big difference is that our Dennis the Menace, the UK type, causes the trouble, whereas the US type just accidentally makes the trouble.
Accidentally causes the trouble.
Yeah, but get this, right? So, in March 1951, a cartoon called Dennis the Menace began, syndicated across 16 newspapers at first, about a little boy in Wichita, Kansas. Also in March, and also in 1951, the Beano comic,
Same year.
exactly the same year,
date.
the same month.
Same month.
Staple of British childhood since 1938, began their new cartoon series called Dennis the Menace. There is no possibility that either of the creators of either comic strip could have known of the other was being created, and there is no way anyone could have guessed what kind of popularity each character would have. Obviously, they were both really big. However, the fact is that the UK Dennis and the US Dennis occupy similar places in the hearts of their respective nations, despite being entirely different characters.
That's
How
mental.
strange is that?
Didn't
That's
the Americans just, because of it though, didn't the Americans just change it to Dennis instead of Dennis the Menace?
I didn't see that come up. I always thought it was just they were both Dennis.
Jeff, do you know what it is? Dennis the Menace or Dennis?
Dennis the Menace, absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought they changed it to Dennis.
I
It
remember.
may have been very recently rebranded or something, but
Yeah,
the way
maybe.
I came up in the in the
Um,
papers or whatever, it was Dennis the Menace.
yeah, I remember being really confused when I was a kid and saw the Dennis the Menace movie and thinking, well, why have they got so much wrong? Like, why is he a blonde kid? Who's Mr.
Yeah.
Wilson? Where's the dog? Like, and then
Who's the dog?
obviously, as I grew up, I realized.
Where the fuck is Nasha?
Yeah, exactly. I realized it's a totally different cartoon.
That is a
but-
crazy
Yeah, it's
coincidence.
so weird. Yeah, it came up. I just
Right,
thought,
well-
I have to bring it up.
Let's move on to On the Spot with Soxy. Does he know it?
Probably not.
Will he guess it?
I've got a good shot.
It's time to put
Andrew on the spot.
He's still in. You cannot keep up with me. How hard is it to keep up with me? Fucking hell. Do you know what? I'm going to go for round two. We're going to get this right, Soxy. We're going to get this right.
Come on.
This isn't even going to get cut, Mogs. Keep us in. Does he know it?
Probably not.
Will he guess it?
I've got a good shot.
3, 2, 1. It's time to put
Andrew on the
Andrew on
spot.
the spot.
He's done a countdown and he's still going to do. It's time to put.
We need a metronome.
Yeah.
You need to nod your
just-
head. You need to nod your head and then fucking do it.
Yeah, John, I love the way you put a cue in well before he needed to have a cue.
That's like,
This
I
bit
forgot
is
about that
staying
bit. I forgot about it. It's time to put. Go on. Ask him his first fucking question.
First question of the two, which one's dull? Out of Andrew and Soxy, which one's the dullest?
Well, I don't know where Soxy fucking. Oh, which one's up to Andrew and Soxy?
It's two personas, I'm sure of it. I'm sure when Andrew goes to work, it's Andrew.
No, it's Drew. Get it right.
And when
It's
he-
Drew.
Sorry,
Drew. Drew
When
is
he's
the
at work, he's this
professional one.
intellectual.
No, when he
professional.
goes to work, it's Andy.
Fuck off.
That's Andy.
Andy.
It's top fucking Andy. Soxy's my nickname since the age of fucking 8 years old. And Drew.
Suggs is his second nickname.
Suggs is fucking
Suggs.
Bird and fucking Jared's nickname for me. And then
Yeah.
Drew came from fucking when I started work. It's just fucking short for Andrew. So they call
Whoa,
me
what
Drew.
about Andy, then?
No, that's fucking you lot. I fucking hate Andy. I am not fucking Andy.
You are Andy.
Andy.
Fuck no.
So go on, ask away.
Jesus. Question one. What does freezing do to the heat, as in the spiciness of a chili pepper? What does freezing do to a chili pepper?
Fucking make him more after. Fuck it. I got out there.
Well, that's all. Anybody else?
Freezes it? I don't know.
What does it do? It freezes the heat, does it? Spiciness.
I have no idea.
I
don't
don't know,
know.
Jeff, you know?
I should know it.
I would say it would increase the spiciness.
It does absolutely nothing.
There we go.
Heating or chilling the spices does nothing to the spiciness of it.
Okay, so it's a good thing. So it means you can freeze your chilies and have no effect.
Yep.
Question 2. How many wings does a bee have?
4.
Oh, come on. This is my easy one for you.
4.
4. Anybody else?
2.
So Soxy's cleverer than Jared. It's
Fuck
4.
off. It's 4.
It's, what is a pleb?
I'm looking one on my fucking left.
Hey,
I know who that is.
A pleb.
Jeff, do you know what it is? Socks, do you know what it is first?
No, I don't know what it is now.
Oh,
Jared.
Jeff,
All I'm saying is Jared.
I agree.
you want to clarify the spelling? PLEB?
Yeah, correct.
Pleb. Short for plebeian. A simpleton. And Andrew.
I love it, yeah.
Right there, Jeff.
That's 3.
Andrew, that's the American term for it. It's basically a commoner who is not from gentry.
And
Is that what
Andrew,
it is?
I mean,
So was I wrong? Are you
No, you're
late
not-
at entry,
You're
sure?
not wrong. You're not wrong. But it is the original terminology for it was literally to be a commoner.
I was going to say TV shows is plebs, isn't it? But go on.
Yeah, but then plebs plays more into what Jeff said as well, right?
Yeah.
Question 3, 4. What colour are the bones of a garfish? No, I'm asking this because I believe you're a fisherman.
I'm not a fisherman.
Soxy's not a fisherman. He's never said he's a fisherman.
I've never said I'm a fish. I've never ever been fishing.
I'm sure you claimed something.
Last time I got fish, went fish. Last time I went fishing was up the trout farm near us, and I had a fucking hook stuck in my arm by my brother. So there we go. That's probably the last time I went fishing.
You were fishing at a trout farm?
Yeah.
It's called a trout. It's like, yeah.
It's like
It's
like a pay to fish lake, you
Yeah.
know? But if it's only trout,
Where everybody catches something? Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty
pretty much. Yeah. And then you pay for what you keep and stuff.
And there's nothing but trout in the lake that you fish in. So you can't catch anything else.
Sounds like not much of a challenge.
It's boring.
It's
Really boring.
But that's the last time I went fishing. But the colour of the bones, I'm going to say black.
Yeah, I was thinking black actually.
No. Jared, do you know?
For some reason, purple's coming to my head. I don't know why.
Jeff, you're on the sea?
No idea.
No idea. It's green. It's a greenish blue.
Greenish blue.
It's basically purple.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's basically purple. But it is a greenish blue.
That's
A green and blue purple, but so fuck you.
Jeff, let me just point out, I asked the question, what are the secondary colours? I
uh-huh.
couldn't get a correct answer for that.
Oh, that's simple. Come on.
Yeah, thank you. That's a bit of a pleb there, isn't it?
Orange, green, and purple are secondary
Yeah,
colors.
orange, green, purple, I was going to say.
Andrew?
I wasn't sure then.
Yeah, the colours are mixed. Off.
He knows the answer now. They just told him.
I even had to go towards primary colours and I still didn't get a full answer. Right. Where is Pearl Harbor?
Fuck,
Jeff
man.
knows this. Jeff knows this.
I've not got a clue.
Oh,
No,
I can take a
guess?
guess. I can take a guess. It's
Don't know this.
it's definitely on the southern part of America. Not South America, but the southern part of it down below.
Or Mexico.
No, just yeah. Florida area. Jeff's eyes telling me it's not.
He knows.
Jeff's eyes.
Just pin Jeff to your main screen now so you can see when he goes off. For fuck's sake. You know it's wrong.
One more.
Morgan,
Take an
Jeff.
answer. Take an
I have
answer.
no idea. For some reason, Hawaii's in my mind, but I
Hawaii.
don't think that's right.
That's what I was thinking.
Is it right?
No, you weren't. You weren't thinking of Hawaii at all.
I was, Jeff. I promise.
Hawaii, down by Mexico, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, Hawaii, nowhere near Mexico or Florida.
Hawaii next to Mexico.
Nowhere near the US.
Yes, Hawaii is as close to Mexico as
Australia.
Australia is to the UK. Yes, that's I know where it was.
Pretty close, Jeff. Pretty close.
Basically the same
The
thing.
coast, Joe.
So where is it, Jeff?
Huh?
It's
Where
Pearl
is
Harbor,
Hawaii?
Hawaii.
There's
It's-
Hawaii, is there?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
in Hawaii.
Where the mugs?
Yes. Got a point.
who was the first person to see the Hawaiian Islands from
Who
the
was
western countries of sorts?
Oh, who was the first white guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Oh,
see it, not land, but to see it.
I think I know this.
He's a captain.
He was on a ship.
probably on a ship. No. He was a freaking alien on a UFO.
yeah. Captain Kirk.
Yes. No, I'm not sure.
Captain Hook. Captain Hook. Captain James
Cook.
Cook, sorry.
Cook. I was going to say Cook, and then when you said Hook, I was like, Hook was real?
He was chasing Peter at the time. He was.
Yes. Fucking mind. Captain Hook.
I was going to say Cook, yeah.
I like to throw him in every now and then. In which 20th century decade was Barbie's boyfriend Ken first introduced? Which decade was Ken turned up? Or turned out?
I think I know.
Well, your history with Barbies is well documented.
Do you really wait, Jeff? Do you really think I played with Barbies and Kens? Really?
Yes.
I had an action man, bud. Get it right.
Called Ken.
G.I. Joe in America.
I have honestly not got a clue, Steve.
What's the
The only
question,
reason-
Steve?
Sorry?
What's the question?
John, I'm gonna whiz.
Which decade was Barbie's Ken doll introduced?
40s.
And then Barbie
60s.
was out then. I think Barbie it came out in the 60s or the end of the 60s.
Fuck off. Barbie didn't. She was way before that, surely.
Nah, I'm sure she was like either 59 or 69.
Nah, man, I think
I'm
she's fucking
positive.
further than that. I thought she was like fucking 30s.
I don't think so.
Jeff called it. It was the 60s.
Was
Oh,
it
really?
fucked? I
Yeah.
genuinely thought she was fucking earlier than that, but there we go.
Well, Ken obviously was later, but Ken must have been pretty close.
Barbie would have been early 50s, right?
Was it
Yeah.
early 50s? Then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty certain.
Here it is, yeah. It's 53, I believe.
Oh,
I genuinely
it was
thought
like
she was
the end,
way
so it
earlier.
wasn't like
Steve knows you got a
58.
collection of them.
Mint, still in the boxes.
Not
With
really
all
fun.
With
I
all
don't
the
touch his
Barbies.
accessories.
You
He's
can't
been
touch
played with.
The only reason Andrew has 12-inch GI Joes is so that he could have a girlfriend named Barbie.
I think Will won't be happy with that, though.
World.
Let's start calling her Barbie then, man. Jeff World is for girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which country does the cravat originate from? I think we discussed this in a different method before, I think.
So I again, because of this thing, I'm going to say Russia.
Okay. Anybody else?
It sounds a bit French. Cravats.
It does sound
Austria.
Was that Jeff?
Austria.
Austrian.
I'm going to say Britain. Fuck it.
Morgan?
France, I said. It sounds a bit French.
Oh,
to
you
me.
did. So you didn't say France. You said it sounds a bit French.
Totally different things.
So it could be German.
That's it, Steve.
German, Belgian.
Oh, it's Croatia. My document's just gone down.
Fucking hell.
Croatia.
It's Croatia. It was.
Okay.
Can I add to that question?
If you want to.
Socks.
What now?
What's a cravat?
Not got a clue, Jar.
Fair enough.
There we go.
Anybody else?
Enough?
Is that homework for next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Uh,
We've got some-
question 8. Question 8. I'd like Jared to answer this first, though. If
It's
that's
not
possible.
Jared on the spot. It's
You're right,
fucking
it's not.
Soxy on the spot.
You're right. But are you willing to? Are you
Aye.
man enough?
Go
You
on.
man enough.
Go on.
Yeah, because he shit out from fucking this week's fucking me and against him. That's what he fucking did.
That's
Oh.
next week, but
Fucking shit out.
Jeff, we're going to be doing a competition between Jared and Stocksy.
It's a head-to-head quiz.
Oh boy.
All I've had
What,
this
Jeff?
week is Jared. All I've had is Jared this week phoning me up, asking me not to do it, begging me.
Because he's shit out.
Ready, Ja? Ready, Socks?
ready as I'll ever be, sunshine.
In maths.
Oh, I'm out.
That's
In maths.
I'm out, but I'm out. Honestly, I'm out. I refuse to answer.
Oh, sorry. In maths, what is a regular polygon?
Socks.
A regular hologon.
Polygon.
Oh, polygon.
polygon.
Sorry. Not got a clue.
Is there a dot? Is it a dot?
Yeah, you said he was out.
It's a dot, isn't it?
No, it's still not, but he was out anyway.
A Y or an X?
What the fuck is that?
No, not biology, dude. We're not talking chromosomes. We're talking polygon.
Yeah, he was just hoping for one or the other. That's all he was hoping for.
It's not a polygon, it's a dot.
What are polygons, Ja?
Pixels.
Oh.
Oh, you're thinking gaming, no.
I am thinking gaming.
No.
I think
Well, you're wrong about that in gaming too, but
Polygons are like shapes. So you got triangle, rectangle,
Yeah,
hexagon,
keep going.
octagon.
keep going.
That's the only ones I
Socks.
fucking know. But
I'm going to give it to you, Socks.
that's the only ones I know.
Shit.
there's only triangle, square, rectangle, hectagon, octagon, fucking all of them. Here we go.
Alright, Corky.
Right.
Alright, big head.
Don't show off.
Fucking yes, I'm showing off, but
Stop
I think
there.
I'm guessing.
Stop there. I'm giving it to Soxy.
Yeah.
shapes, yeah.
Regular polygons are basically the standard ones, which is a square or a triangle
Oh, okay.
or a rectangle.
Fair enough.
I was going to
anything
say
beyond
just
4
triangle, but
Anything beyond 4 edges
Hmm.
is not regular.
right, okay.
Come on, what are we on? Question what?
Question 9. What is the
9?
name of What is the... Will you shut up?
Fuck off, Steve. Prick. Nobody likes you.
What is the name of Popeye's burger-eating friend?
Oh, but you got a fucking obsession with Popeye, you have.
Fucking
I have.
Burger eating friend.
I bought a
and-
t-shirt recently.
And there's a fucking burger franchise named after him, Wimpy.
Good man.
Is it really? Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
I never knew that.
I didn't know that.
Wimpy. The Wimpy still exists. I think there's one in Porthcawl.
Oh, they fucking rank. Jeff, do you have Wimpy in America?
No.
I doubt it. They have good food in America, I think.
I have been to Popeye's Village in Malta.
I've
yeah?
not.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Oh man.
It's
Did you see him?
no, he wasn't.
Where's he eating spinach? Where's he eating spinach?
Has he really got big forearms like that?
Well, any sailor worth his salt has forearms like that after you've been underway for 6 months.
Yeah.
Who did Lady Spencer marry?
I know it's one.
Mark.
It's kind of open. Everyone did.
No, I haven't got a clue. Lady
No more,
Spencer.
do away.
No, I don't think so. Well, when
I
you give
need
me
the others
I'll
answer
think, oh.
first.
I'm not gonna. I was gonna say Henry VIII for some reason. I'm not gonna clue.
I'm on Soxy's side now. I think that's a pretty good guess.
Steve, I see a few Henry Leeds questions coming next week.
Fuck
Yeah.
Fuck
Bit
off.
of history coming on here.
Oh, here we go. I have not got a clue.
Does the American know?
This is the American, oh, Jeff?
Is this a question about the Royals?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. No, we got rid of that a long time ago.
Folks,
No idea.
is
Go on, John.
the answer Prince Charles?
It is.
Wait,
it?
hang on, he's Googling.
Camilla.
No, I
He's
shall
fucking
not
Google
Google
it.
it.
No, you wouldn't.
Like a fucking Princess
None
Diana.
of you should
Diana
have to Google
Spencer.
that.
Oh, Diana.
Yeah. That's her second
right.
name, Spencer.
Fuck, I only know the fucking Princess Diana, that was it. I didn't know about the surname.
So he's not married to Camilla, is he?
Yeah.
No, he is.
Now he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But he popped her off and married the next one, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right then. Where on Earth is the longest mountain range?
Ooh, I know this.
Hmm.
But I will let Andrew answer first, obviously.
Again, I'm going to say USA. I'm going to say America.
Okay.
I think this is a trick question. Well, not so much a trick. It's worded funny. I'm going to say the Alps, the Swiss Alps.
Swiss Alps. Anybody else? When you want to take a chance?
I want to go with Canada.
Jeff?
I'm going to go with, in the words of Sebastian the Crab, under the sea, specifically the Pacific Ocean.
Not necessarily specifically the Pacific Ocean, because it goes all around the world. It's called the Mid-Ocean Ridge,
Oh, really?
which spans over 40,000 miles.
So, Jeff, technically, are you right then?
Yeah,
Got
so
it
it's
very
under
right.
the sea.
Well, yes, of course.
Well done, Jeff. Of course.
I was thinking the trick question was people thinking the highest, obviously the Himalayas,
Yeah, of course.
with
Yeah.
Everest, like. But then I was like, okay, yes, good on. Okay.
Well, this week I did make sure I used the words correctly, and I used longest.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm hoping people will get this one right. What did the 7 dwarves do as a job?
Oh, Andrew, you were on the spot.
Well done, Jack.
It was. I thought it was slaves.
What?
What?
I thought it was. I'm not. I thought it was like workers, like fucking.
Oh, it's gone dark.
slaves.
It's gone very dark.
The
It's
light
gone to
just
a
got
dark
really
place.
Jeez.
Disney, what were you fucking thinking?
Well,
I hope.
yeah. It's all
I know,
fucking where we go.
Like a
It's-
chain
oh.
gang. Yeah.
It's a bit more like, not I
I'm not going to clue, Steve.
but no, we can tell.
Oh.
Jeff,
I
more
was not expecting that.
They were miners, man.
Yeah,
miners.
jewel miners, weren't they? Like diamond miners or whatever.
Diamond miners, they were.
Or slaves to the man. That's what Andrew meant. Andrew meant they were slaves
That's right.
to the man. Did you,
They were
Andrew?
slaves to the De Beers.
Oh, that shocked me.
Another one wrong, Andrew. Let me mark you down.
Jeff, can you do me a favor?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Can you ask Andrew where diamonds come from?
Fuck off.
Okay.
No.
Andrew,
Yes,
where did
yes,
diamonds
yes.
come from?
From a rock.
What?
From a rock.
Have you not seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
There's a perfect explanation of the creation of diamonds in that movie.
They come
Jeff,
from- they
Andrew
come from
thought
the sky.
diamonds. Andrew thought diamonds were fallen stars.
Which landed mainly in South Africa.
Right. Well,
It
it has,
did
a
that.
diamond, it has a fallen star magnet underneath.
To be fair, it didn't help that me and Steve convinced him that they were fallen stars.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, bless him.
Oh,
Look at him.
that slaves one took me by surprise. Then,
Slaves.
Oh,
Right then. In Tom and Jerry, the cartoon,
Steve, what questions? Is this 14 or 13?
13.
13.
In Tom and Jerry, what is Spike's son's name?
oh,
Spike the
Oh,
dog.
fuck
I think
me.
I know. Yeah, I do know.
That Spike's the dog, isn't he?
Yeah, the
The
bulldog.
caller.
The bulldog
Yeah.
one. I was going to say Spike Jr.
He does call him Junior, but it's not his name.
No, I'm not got a clue on.
Anybody
I don't
else?
know this. I don't know this.
I know the answer, so. Well, I'm sure I know the
Yeah.
answer. So, if anyone else?
I don't remember.
Yeah, go on in, Mugs.
First, I thought it was going to be Buster, but then I remembered it's Butch.
No,
Oh, am I wrong?
you're wrong.
I thought it was Butch.
Butch is Jerry's nephew.
Oh, really? Oh, shit, I don't know him. Unless it's Buster.
It's Tyke. Spike and Tyke.
Spike and Tyke. Oh, man.
Yeah. So this is more for Jeff than anybody else.
Marvelous.
What is the official sport of the state of Maryland?
The state of Maryland, where I was born.
What is the official sport, at least stated on what I found?
So is this for Soxy or?
I think it's for me and Jeff, but
Well,
I think Jeff
let's
knows the
answer
answer
first.
I was going to say as anything baseball.
Baseball. Jeff?
Crab fishing.
No.
No?
It is not the official national sport, is it?
Well, it wouldn't be a national sport because Maryland's a state.
Sorry, state sport, that's right.
Then lacrosse. After that, I don't know.
Lacrosse.
Jousting.
Oh,
Jousting?
Really?
Horse jousting is stated as, if you look at yours though, Jeff, you want to look yourself, by all means. By all means, prove me wrong as well, because I found it unreal.
That's so weird, isn't it?
That is mental. If it's true, it's mental.
Many more, Steve? Many more left?
Last one. In Australia,
Uh-oh.
so maybe Morgan will have a better chance of this. But what is known as a double plugger?
No idea.
Double plugger.
Double plugger.
Double plugger. I was doing a pub quiz not long ago, and a really weird question came up, and I'd never heard it said.
Have you had a double plugger, Mugs?
No. Double plugger.
Jeff is busy looking at the internet now trying to find out.
I am. And it's no shit jousting. Oh my God.
Jousting. That's so weird, isn't it?
My state is jousting.
And it wasn't named until 1962.
I thought.
I know. It's mad, isn't it?
Wild.
What was you going to say, Socks?
I was going to say it's like for some reason like a shoe, like flip flop.
They're thongs, mate.
I don't know for thongs, but I thought it was. I know thongs with flip flops. I thought like double pluggers be like shoes, like fucking Crocs or something like that, like or sandals.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, double pluggers. I've never heard that one. Really haven't.
I'm going to give it to Soxy.
No way. This is thongs.
No, thongs are the flip-flop that goes between the big toe. So that's your thong, yeah?
Yeah.
But your double plugger is the double strap over the toes.
Oh,
so
okay.
like a sandal then?
So like a sandal?
Yeah, it's just a backless sandal.
I thought it was a shoe or
a slide. Okay.
Well, so far, before we go on to Jeff's questions, if he has any, Soxy have had 3 out of 15.
No, he's had 4.
Before we move on, do you want to hear the question I was asked?
Oh, yeah, sorry, that looks like a cross. That's 4. Yeah, Mugs? We're not moving on yet.
Yeah, before we move on the questions.
Tell us the question.
See if any of you can get this. In Australia, what is known as a mystery meat bag? Or a mystery bag?
I'm going to go for kebab.
You're close. You're on the right track. Anyone?
Nah.
No? Sausage.
Never.
Yeah, and I'd never heard it being called that. I was always snag when I was there. But yeah, mystery bag. And then when you think of it, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
Do you have any questions for our very own Brainiac?
I do. Both are Navy related, and I'm going to be nice enough to make it about Her Majesty's Navy. Just to keep it.
He's still fucked, Jeff. He's still screwed.
Hey, look. I am trying my best. I can't help it if he's simple. or a pet.
Again, Jeff. Right there.
Huh? Oh, 4.
Do you
Sweet.
know which navy the Majesty's Navy is, Socks?
Do I know one navy?
The Majesty's one is.
Again, they're all fucking different type of navies, so I am not got a clue about.
Okay.
It's our queen.
Carry-
Our queen's fucking navy.
The fucking Royal Navy,
the
son.
Royal Navy. Goes. So we're off to a good start, Jeff.
Great. I'm trying to find. All right, so I will ask first. What is the name of Britain's newest aircraft carrier?
Ooh.
Not got a clue.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. Shocking.
I mean,
that's pretty sad.
I feel like we've always had. I know I don't know this, but I feel like all the names I'm thinking of, we've already had.
That's more true than you realize. Like basically, all the names are recycled forever and ever. It's
I'll
very,
say-
very.
I'll just go for Elizabeth.
I was going to say Elizabeth.
HMS Elizabeth.
Well,
I'll go for Enterprise.
HMS Queen Elizabeth is the answer.
Oh,
That's pretty boring. Like,
I didn't realize they were all recycled.
Why
I
can't
always thought it
Prince
was a new
Charles
name,
have a
but-
fucking carrier? Oh, Charles will say, oh, Camilla.
HMS Camilla.
I think you know the reason if you really search your heart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know the reason. I know the reason. And you got another one, Jeff?
What is or describe a rafted refueling?
Ooh.
Say that again. What is or describes?
Describe a rafted refueling. Okay, I'll give you some backstory while you all ponder. There are 3 traditional methods of refueling while at sea. The first is a standard connected replenishment. The second is a stern refueling. And the third is rafted refueling.
Again, Jeff.
Huh?
Haven't got a clue.
No guess, nothing.
No, I
Yeah,
got
Oh,
just-
yeah.
Make up something. Think of what the word is.
I'm thinking fucking
Is it
barrels of fucking fuel right fucking down a barrel. That's fucking rap. Didn't they fucking go? I'm not got a clue.
makes no sense? Is it basically being towed behind it then? So it's got its own small tanker behind, able to be refueled at any time. A top-up barge
I'm like,
that's taken with it.
my mind
Any
is
other
thinking-
guesses?
I'm thinking something like a boat or a ship carrying fuel and taking it to the ship or something. I don't know. That's what I feel like. Rafted means obviously it's floating, so
Yeah.
it's taking it to the ship. Maybe.
Is it like barrel refueling? For some reason, barrel keeps coming to my mind. I don't know why.
Oxygen said barrel.
I just said barrel.
But that's okay. So first, I mean, obviously I have an advantage here because none of you are in the Navy. So when we do an underway replenishment, right, a refueling at sea, there's a ship that is an oiler that has oil, fuel oil, right? You can either do a standard conrep, which is oiler, and then the receiving ship, there are lines across with hoses, plug it in, gas up as you go. Okay, driving along through the ocean doing this, making fuel. Okay, cool. The second version is a stern refueling, which means a stern of the fueling ship, the oiler. So they're sailing like this. There you go.
Okay.
The oiler's going along, puts out a float with a probe. The receiving ship picks it up and plugs it in, gets gas. Rafted refueling is when the oiler is floating, not anchored, just making a bare steerage way, it would be the term.
Hmm.
The receiving ship comes alongside, makes fast with that ship, tied up like a raft, and
Okay.
And then person on the deck of the oiler hands over a gas nozzle like at a gas station.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I actually have a picture of doing this
Yeah.
from one of my ships. We tied up with a UK oiler and actually rafted to receive fuel. It was wildly, like, it just made no sense in the context of what we're actually doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Crazy.
something a little fun to talk about.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Right, well,
Oh, no more points, huh?
no more point.
No,
Was that it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think we
all.
should move on to
That's all
our
done.
main topic again, lads.
Oh, what about
So
Jeff.
he's been with us from the start of the show, and he's still with us. He hasn't walked off yet. And it
That's
is
a good
Jeff.
sign.
So, Jeff, before we start talking about your podcast,
Yeah.
do you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Okay, so I am Jeff. I did 23 years in the United States Navy. Kind of bounced all around the major U.S. Navy spots here in the States. Sorry, we all want to hear what the kid says. Yeah.
I believe he was asking for kebab meat and chips, which is a British delicacy.
He just asked for kebab meat and chips. He did, yeah. He said, "Do you want kebab meat and chips?" I said, "No."
The
so let's see.
diet of the British.
23 years in the Navy. I am an electronics technician by trade, which basically means I work on radars, radios, navigation equipment, what have you, in support of the mission of the ship or whatever. I was on, in 23 years, I was on a total of 5 ships, technically, though they were only 2 different classes. And I sent you guys pictures of those. My first ship and actually my last class or ship were both the same type, the USS Austin class amphib, which was funny because when I first joined the Navy, we have tests, entrance exams to determine what you can do in the Navy, what kind of job you can hold.
Yeah,
And, you know, I did well enough that the recruiter and the people at the entry processing station were like, you should be a nuke. You should be a nuke. You need to go nuke because they get bonuses and, you know, whatever. And I was determined not to ever be on a ship that was built to sink because most nukes go to submarines. So instead, I ended up on an amphib, which is built to mostly sink to let the Marines out the back. So that was a little bit of weird karma. Anyway, so the other type of ship was a Minehunter Coastal, the small little USS Falcon was the primary ship I was on, but it's an Osprey class. And that's what we used. That's what I was on when we actually did the refueling, the rafted refueling with the, I really thought it was the King George, but I'll figure out which UK refueler it was. Anyway, been to various other places. Sailed through the Med back in the 90s when it was nothing but a show the flag cruise and spreading money around. Got to go into the Black Sea and see Romania and Bulgaria and Odessa, Ukraine. In that time, in 96 or 98, Odessa, Ukraine was the most beautiful city that I'd ever seen. There was a architecture like pre-Soviet Union architecture that was still there, like it hadn't been destroyed during the Soviet occupation, whatever, however you want to term that. And it was kind of brought back and emphasized after the fall of the Soviet Union. It was actually, you know, cleaned up and kind of, you know, held up again. And it's just the coolest place to go, at least then, because pulling into this place, there's a pier for cruise ships, because the Black Sea used to be a really big tourist destination. It was a cruise destination. And so they had this pier there and all that, and they had the steps of Potemkin, which is a really cool just experience to see this as you're pulling in. And there's this, basically like a ferry terminal kind of building. And on the roof of this place is something like 10,000 people waving and saying hi to the Americans who are here to spend money. I mean, that's the truth of it. That's why we're there. We're there to spread, capitalism and put money into their economy, show the flag and show that we're good people. And all those lies that the Soviets told for so long are just that. They're lies, right?
Yeah.
But off to the side, there's a ship. I think it's like a early teens, 19 teens era ship that's been converted to a hotel. And then next to that is an old Oscar-class Soviet submarine being refurbed or something, or just sitting there. No, but it was just this juxtaposition. The red star on the sail of this submarine is fading, but it's still visible. And then, here I am in this place, and wandering around this town, you think, like, at this point, 96, so like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, this was a Soviet, controlled place, right?
Yeah.
That never escaped my mind as we were wandering around. It was super cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask, Jeff, how did you get into podcasting? So obviously you've got your own podcast, which is the Round and Round podcast. Yeah. So how did you get into podcasting?
I feel like it's a common origin story. I mean, when you listen to enough of them and you think, well, A, I can do that, and B, I've got something worth talking about,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And mine really started with disgust at the media. Not for any hot takes or opinions or whatever it is. The media are people who do language for a living.
Yeah.
So I would expect, if in no other place, if you do written language specifically for a living, there should never be a typographical error. There should never be a grammar mistake.
Yeah.
Those things piss me off so bad.
No.
It was really, because I'm a bit of a pedant too. Like, when you say words, those words mean things, and you should probably mean what you write. If you're a language user by trade, when you type words and put them up for people to read, they should be correct.
Yeah.
You should say the truest version of what you're trying to say and spell it correctly and use grammar correctly.
Yeah.
But then again, is there any true form of journalism? Because journalism is always one-sided, if that makes sense.
Sure, there's always bias, and I'm not arguing the bias. It's a matter of
the document.
Correct.
The evidence, isn't it?
It comes down to the language.
Yeah.
I hate clickbait, but I won't necessarily hate on it. I get it, but if it's a false on its face, like, to me, there's a difference between trying to be a hook and being a lie. And here's where the difference is, right? You can tell a whole story that is a falsehood. If your headline matches that story, I have no complaint. But when the headline differs from the story that you're telling, that's wrong to me.
Agree?
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the root of Round and Round as it stood. And again, Round and Round as it has been is no more. What I do moving forward, we'll see.
Because you have got two other podcasts, and you've got the Dispatches of Dissociation.
Well, no, you haven't got him. He's working on them.
So, Dispatches have, there's so many things, right? Half-Fast, I actually recorded 5 or 6 episodes of Half-Fast, which is a car and motorcycle and technology thing where I was going to dig into, because I love cars. I am a car aficionado. I enjoy any genre, any type of car, from any era. It doesn't matter. There's something about every car that's worth talking about to me.
If you have to choose one of your favorite cars to have or to own, what would it be, Jeff?
See, that's a question I couldn't answer because I would need more details to the question. What era or what type or whatever.
That's the same with me. I'm a music person, a guitar person, and it's exactly the same. Someone says to me, "Oh, what guitar would you love to own?" It's endless. There is no answer because there's so many classics, there's so many new models, and
like everybody has to have a Les Paul, but you also have to have a.
So if I had to say like a muscle car and a supercar,
Okay.
It's
Not a
not a
lot.
wide
So-
range.
Yeah, there are so many, right? Like
Yeah.
muscle car. Right now at this moment, I'd probably go with an AMX, if only because they're so rare. There aren't a bunch of them out there. And the example that was in the last season of Better Call Saul, that AMX in particular is very well done.
Yeah.
Um,
So sorry, if I can just change the question quick.
Hmm?
If I could just change it. What British classic car? Is there any British classics you like?
Tons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So.
nice to know.
So,
We've got a good history of shitty cars, to be honest.
well, there is all of the humor, like the Lucas Electrics thing, and it's just it's so easy to bring that up, and every like for folks, from Britain especially, to say that it means something, like it sets a bar, right?
Yeah.
But I would love to have a Defender 110, a proper right-hand drive Defender 110.
Yeah.
I would like to have a right-hand drive Mini.
My favorite.
But
With
also
stick, obviously, Jeff,
Absolutely.
because I know it's a lot of manual driving up in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Automatic. So I get it right.
Automatic, sorry. Yeah, of course.
No, with a stick. Because I'm first left-handed, and I got to drive in Malta, which is a right-hand drive country.
Okay.
So that was kind of a bit fun. But also, there's a couple Rovers that like probably most people won't get, but I dig because they're just so normal,
Yeah.
right?
That's British cars. Yeah, they're just normal. There's just
They're so plain. But then you all got some really cool shit, like the Cosworth. A proper escort Cosworth. In the Group B era, they were just amazing. Anyway,
unfortunately, moving away from cars.
That's my bad.
The Round and Round podcast, obviously, that's your baby. Is there any actual future to that, do you think, or is that just? It's a shame. It's a shame to see it just die, really.
I don't know. I think there's a future. I can't. We don't have a ton of listeners at Round and Round, but I have a hell of a following on Twitter, right? Like
Yeah, of course.
Legitimately, Round and Round has a following on Twitter, and I try to be supportive of other podcasts, in the No Phony Network and others. So, and that became kind of my Twitter persona, right? Like I have a personal account that I haven't touched in weeks.
Yeah, same as me. I don't bother with my own. Well, I don't think I can remember my password, my personal account.
So, I feel like, on the one hand, that's very egotistical or whatever, right? Like, oh, I need to have all these followers or whatever. But at the same time, like 1,120 people that I can reach out to, that's a fair number for a normal guy,
Like, it's like us now. We started with when we come to a Grave for Crows, was my idea. I just decided, let's make a podcast. So I phoned my mate Dean, and he was like, yeah, I'm up for it. He's up for anything. We phoned Andrew and Steve. Steve was like, nah, not into that. Andrew was like, yeah, I'm into it. But we've evolved so much because like Dean is gone. Our segments have changed completely. Right. And we are what we are now. We've got Morgan on board. We've got Steve, Dane, and Andrew, of course.
I was just a bit of a reoccurring guest at start, and then why don't you just be about?
Did you say how would you like your podcast to like evolve, or have it evolved, or would you like to see it evolve into something else?
I think, I have to figure out how I'm going to do it, just with a solo host, basically, primarily, right?
But there's plenty out there. There are plenty of podcasts with a solo host, and they work fine.
So I think through the next couple of weeks, like what I plan to do for next week, I'm going to record a couple of shorts and release, 20 to 30 minute episodes multiple times a week and see how that goes. Kind of hit different segments independently to see how that plays out. But I've also got, like I said, the Half-Ass Show. I intend to start that back up in July. It should launch in July with a co-host, actually. That'll be some decent banter. But we've also got this dispatches thing, and it is a.
What are you going to do with that?
So Dispatches of it's an audio drama kind of thing. It's like a soap opera. I don't know the term that you people would use for those.
Soap opera, yeah, same drama.
So it's kind of plays out more like that. It's like a radio show kind of a deal, with a lot of quirky little bits. We're 4 episodes in, and it's gotten as decent a following as anything else.
Is that available to listen to now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's on all the majors. You follow, there's 2 primary characters, Bonnie and Vance, who had a one-night Tinder thing just before coronavirus hit. And what you're listening to through the course of the show is their interactions told through letters. You know, it's kind of a quasi Ken Burns style, like the Civil War letters that he did.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's where
What's he called? What's he called on Dispatches?
Dispatches of Disassociation.
Dispatches of Disassociation.
Yep.
So actually, do you understand that?
Yeah, I did read that when he fucking sent the email, mate, so don't worry.
Just want to say to our listeners and viewers, go out there right now.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Definitely give him a subscription.
Yeah, all on the videos. His Twitter is on our video.
So,
all the logos.
what are you looking forward to?
Jeff, who's doing the disassociation with you?
So it was actually a fantastic podcaster. Her name is Kristen. She does the Coffin Cast podcast, which is about death, fun deaths, questionable deaths.
Okay.
Her show's a treat to listen to, seriously. So she kicked this thing off with an idea like, I want to do these letters thing. All right, cool. And then we brought in Dan from Assorted Goods as a narrator. And so we get this very, again, the 40s radio show is probably the closest audio comparison.
Yeah.
Because he'll lead you in and out of the letters kind of thing as a narrator. And there's some special twists coming. Like we're actually writing an outline in advance. We have the story arcs kind of planned. There are other characters that come in and out of the story. So right now, like we're the main 3. We bring other people in and out, and it's super fun just from the creativity because it's so very different than trying to deliver something that, like, Dan does Assorted Goods, and he delivers history or news of the day or things like that. And my fear with a story like that or a show like that would be, especially solo, if I'm giving you facts, somebody's going to be an asshole and check it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, of course.
Steve for one. Steve for one.
So if that's the case, then if I were to do a show similar to Assorted Goods, I would have to be damn sure of what I'm talking about. Right? I'd have to deliver information above reproach. So with Disassociation, it's kind of, there's a lot of freedom there, where because it's pure fiction.
It's fiction. Yeah, of course.
Rooted in a little bit of fact that is the coronavirus. Fundamentally, I mean, that is the only truth in this, or the fact in this story is like geography and the news of the day as it regards to COVID-19. And that's kind of what Dan does. That's what he brings to the narration. Is every week we get a little bit of COVID-19 update. Where the people in the state stand as far as how they're dealing with it generally, like the protest in Wisconsin or whatever. And then we just go off on these little flights of fancy that kind of satisfy my urge to write creatively, and I affect a little bit of an accent, and I think I have
which accent?
So stately Southern gentleman is how I describe it.
I'm checking.
It started. It really. My target was Kevin Spacey as President Frank Underwood in House of Cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Particularly.
Oh, we got a visitor.
Steve
Tyler East!
Tyler's in.
Obviously,
That sounds really interesting, Jeff.
That's Steve said you
I'll
talked
listen
about
myself.
Jeff.
That does really sound good.
I'm just gonna have to do something.
Jeff, you can continue talking.
oh my gosh, where was I? So yeah, I mean that's really it about dispatches. It's it's an outlet, and the creative process for that show just works fairly. It's fairly seamlessly. It's rather linear,
Yeah.
It's a story, more or less, and
it really is. And I'm able to I had this other idea for an audio drama about it's kind of a Dexter-ish type of deal.
yeah.
And instead, I just kind of started writing that into my character in Dispatches, which is one of the fun little twists. So
yeah.
Well, I for one will definitely be subscribing to Dispatches of Disassociation.
Well, if you do, you will be a minority because it is definitely tracking with ladies and Argentinians for some reason.
Oh, really?
We're the same. We like a Welsh podcast, but we have a lot of stateside listeners and Canadian listeners. It's strange.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I tell you what, when we saw our first overseas listener for Round and Round, I was just flabbergasted. I was like, there is no reason you people should be listening to us. We offer nothing. We and that's the conceit of the show. I describe it as a shit show. S all caps hit, right? Like hit show, I promise. But at the end of the day, I put a lot of work in on the back end to make it sound worse than it is. Like I intentionally underproduce Round and Round.
Oh, really?
Because it was the conceit of the show.
Yeah.
Well, the Round and Round podcast kind of reminds me of what we do. It's just mates shooting the shit, really. It's just mates talking and just having a conversation.
Stuff we enjoy talking about.
Like Morgan said to you.
Some of us doing research.
Yeah, like Morgan said to you on the meeting we had before the podcast, it's just mates in a pub or a club talking. And that's essentially what it is.
Yeah,
and
a chat.
Yeah, and that's why I enjoyed it about it, I got to be honest. And I'm hoping I'm hoping it goes fine for you, the Round and Round podcast. I hope you can produce more.
Well, I hope the Dispatches works out as well. That sounds really interesting.
The Dispatches of Disassociation.
Well. Yeah.
Even though it's a mouthful, Jeff, I'm not going to lie to you.
It is for Jared.
But anyway, listeners and viewers.
Can I ask one favour first, Jeff?
Yeah.
Sure.
Jeff, can I ask a favour in future productions of Dispatches? Seems you've described yourself as sort of the olden time sort of radio kind of story.
Yep.
Can I get some coconuts in there?
For the horses.
For the horseback.
Please.
Flights of fancy.
Flights of fancy. Southern gentlemen, it's got to be easy.
Coconuts for the horses, Jeff. Come on, the horses.
I get exactly where it's coming from. I'm just trying to think of how to work that in. And maybe. I will give you a solid maybe.
You could have it.
If you ever
have it at the back.
If you ever want a Welsh character, you got me as a voiceover artist for you.
I'll work out. Look out.
I work for free.
So do we all.
Just hitting two coconuts together. That's what I mean. The Python will turn up, and then you'll be, oh God.
Well, we better move on. But to our listeners, go along, subscribe to the R Fast podcast, the Round and Round podcast, and the
here we go.
Dispatches of Disassociation.
That's the one that Andrew said.
Even Andrew can say it. Dispatches of Disassociation. I like that.
Right, before we move on to the cartoon fight, Jeff, is there any last words you want to say?
No.
Not last words, like you said, doom, Jeff. Right, Andrew.
Yes,
Jeff, as you know, I think you know, every week we put two cartoons to a fight to decide which one is everyone's favourite cartoon. So, Andrew?
Yes, Jeff?
Give me the bad news.
So, first fight was Family Guy against Pokemon.
This is fucking bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. I just want to point that out.
So, Family Guy won 67.9%. Pokemon came in at 32.1%.
Definitely.
Right, I'm not afraid to say it. Our listeners
That's a
are fucking morons. They're lot
No,
of
they're not.
morons.
I know the poll on Facebook that I put up, Family Guy was 100%.
What was the poll?
The same
What
poll,
poll?
Family Guy against. So on Facebook,
Oh, sorry, the Facebook
Oh,
version.
I
yeah.
test the water with Facebook
Really?
with a poll. Family Guy was 100%.
So
Pokemon
no one-
and
Jeff, can I ask you,
Pokemon.
out
Wow.
of Pokemon or Family Guy, which do you think is the best cartoon?
He's a grown-up.
Jeff?
I don't like either one.
There we
But-
go.
Pokemon.
If I had to choose one or to other, I would probably have to go with Family Guy on principle.
Good God, Jeffrey! No!
It's too good.
No!
I mean, it's still got.
Now,
Oh god,
this,
I think I
this,
just rubbed chili in my eye.
Hey, look.
this
Look.
one shocked me. So Arthur against the Jetsons. Steve fucking persuaded everyone to fucking vote, but Jetsons came in at 78.9%. Arthur came in at 21.1%. But going back to the Facebook fucking...
Have they gone after in the USA? I don't think they would. Jeff,
Yeah.
correct?
It's
Arthur?
American, you plum.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The-
sure. Arthur was a big cartoon.
Arthur's
I thought
Canadian.
the author was British.
It's Canadian, is that right?
No.
I think he's.
No.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Arthur.
It's not
So
British.
Jeff, they would have
Big
Jetsons. Jeff, Jetsons.
Huh? Absolutely.
Go
It's
into the,
American.
go into the Facebook poll. Arthur came in at 71%. Jetsons came in at 29%.
Whoa.
So it's...
Wow.
So doing your maths, socks.
No, like fuck, you can fucking whistle.
I think Jetsons.
Jetsons won anyway. Jetson won anyway.
Mm.
On to the next fight.
Surprising.
I wonder, does it speak about the cartoons or does it speak about the demographics of your different polling places?
Yeah,
Anyway, move on.
This is my
The answer to that is
argument.
yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next fight we got Ghostbusters against Dexter Lab.
Dexter's
Wait. Which
Dexter's
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, which one?
Yeah.
It'd be
The
the
fake
animated
Ghostbusters?
He just put Ghostbusters. Dane fucking sorted this out, but not me.
Because
I
they were
imagine it would have been the
two cartoons over here.
Yeah, there was the real Ghostbusters, yeah, was one.
Something like that. And then there was the Ghostbusters that was actually a better show,
Mm.
but it was not.
Let's have a Google.
It was
Google's
like the
everything.
new Ghostbusters or something, and then the real Ghostbusters.
The
or
new
something.
Ghostbusters are real. I think it was more.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember watching two
I
different.
tell you what, then just to make it easy, Jeff,
Yeah.
go for the one that was better.
Yeah, which one did you think was better?
What was it? Ghostbusters or Dexter's Laboratory?
Yeah.
No,
Dexter's Lab.
which Ghostbusters cartoon you thought was good?
I think that not the real Ghostbusters.
Okay.
The other Ghostbusters, I think, was much better. And
Okay.
however, I might have to go with Dexter's Laboratory on this one. Is that little kid with a dick?
I agree. I like Dexter's Lab. That was brilliant.
For me,
I don't think I watched much of the Ghostbusters though.
I
Whichever
I think
one.
it was real and I had to go for Dexter's Lab. I am.
Mm,
I love the Ghostbusters, but it's got to be Dexter's Lab.
yeah. But
I
along with a lot of
Dexter's Lab, so I've seen Ghostbusters, so I gotta go Ghostbusters.
Do you can't even vote. You don't have any kind of basis to actually do a vote. So
this happens all the time.
The fact
All the
that
time,
Stokes
Jeff.
has no basis means nothing on this show. Having a basis for any opinion has nothing to do with it.
sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Hang on, again, Jeff, right there.
So I'm saying Dexter's. Mark?
Yeah, Dexter's definitely
Jeff?
one of my favorites.
Absolutely, Dexter.
Yeah,
Steve?
Dexter, 100%.
Let's check it up the Twitter and see how we vote.
Next
So,
fight.
Next one.
Scooby-Doo against Bugs Bunny.
Fuck,
Oh,
that's the
that's-
hardest.
That's just
the
uncouth.
hardest I've ever seen. That's the hardest fight I've ever seen.
That Bugs Bunny, done.
Yeah, I think Bugs Bunny's too iconic.
No, iconic. He's funny as fuck. The storylines. Yosemite Sam, come on. Bugs Bunny.
When you say
Elmer Fudd.
when you say cartoon, I feel like Bugs Bunny is one of the first things that pops into your head. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's like the original cartoon, even though there was obviously things before him. But I feel like Bugs Bunny is cartoon.
Ooh.
I think it'd have to be Bugs Bunny.
I simply longevity, because Bugs Bunny started in like 38 or something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
I mean,
So, but besides that, I mean, you know, he's been through all of the eras, right? Like he addressed major socio-political issues through a cartoon. So
yeah.
And you saying Scooby haven't?
I'm saying Scooby's reach was limited. He's not really all that much of a political activist. He just eats a lot of Scooby snacks and hangs out with a weed smoking Edie.
He was just the pothead's dog.
That's
Yeah,
right.
he is the pothead's dog.
I mean,
He's so stoned you can hear him talking.
Yeah, that's all it was.
I mean, if you really think about it, in the later cartoons, when there wasn't so much Fred and Daphne and Wilma, or not Wilma, what the hell's her name?
Velma.
Velma.
Velma,
Right.
yes.
Velma.
Wilma's the fucking Flintstones, isn't she?
Yeah.
When it was just Shag and Scoob, like,
Yeah.
I don't think you could convince me Scooby was real. He could have been a figment of the imagination the whole time.
Definitely.
Again, like how many Scooby movies can you make? Because there's a new one just come out as well, hasn't it?
No.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Like a cartoon?
Scooby. It's just called Scooby.
No, it's called Scoob.
Scoob, sorry, yeah, Scoob.
No.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
What, is live action or cartoon?
No, it's computer graphics.
Yeah, computer.
Oh, okay.
See, no, that's one of my problems is old cartoons going into the more digital graphical sort of animation. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. The old animation works with the old cartoons.
I love the old animation, but I do think sometimes it works. Like Jared has been watching the Clone Wars and he's obsessed now, I think. And it's the same as me. I always
Was there an old version of Clone Wars that was two-dimensional cell animation?
Yeah, well, there was a movie.
The movie, yeah.
It was a cell animation movie, which was
Shit.
It looked good. Yeah, it was okay. And then they made the 3D animated series, which was like, wow.
But the animation changed then into season 3 and 4, so it's...
Yeah, they did update it a little bit, which I don't know why.
I get that, but I also think that, like I said, you know, the old Looney Tunes and all that kind of thing, when you try to update the animation on it,
it looks definitely. I don't know if you've seen the new Looney Tunes
I was just
trailer.
I was just about to bring that up, Morgan, when you sent it over.
Yeah, it's strange because you remember the Looney Tunes are so classic of a cartoon. To see it updated is a bit weird. Like,
yeah,
it's a bit strange.
It's
The Simpsons.
That's
exactly
because we're older,
the
though,
Simpsons.
I think we should vote then. Andrew, we start with you.
Bugs Bunny.
Morgs?
I'd like to say Scooby-Doo, but Bugs Bunny is going to win.
I'm going to have to say Bugs. Steve?
It's definitely Bugs for me.
Jeff?
It's the bunny.
It's the bunny.
Looks like it's...
and that's all, folks.
That's all, folks. Well, in our case, then, let's check them on Twitter and we'll just let the listeners...
Yeah, Paul will be up on Tuesday, so, yeah, get your thoughts in.
Jeff?
So,
Right.
Morgs, let's go on to the professor. What?
Jeff?
Yeah.
What was your favourite animation?
My favorite animation?
Well,
Yeah.
Mask.
The Mask.
The old mask.
The Mobile Armored Strike Command.
Is
Mask.
this going back to Half-Fast?
Basically, yeah. So briefly, the cars, right? The cars will hook me every fucking time. And they rooted all of the cars in real things.
Yep.
Their toys were all 1/24 scale. So they, on a shelf next to plastic models, which I used to be a scale modeler, they're the same size. So they fit on the shelf, right? And they were high quality. Like legitimately, these toys were built with high quality plastic. All of the gimmicks, right? Like I had the Rhino, the semi tractor, right? And all of the gimmicks on that were built to last. Like you couldn't break it. It was really, really quality toy. So and that hooked, and that was why the storyline was what it was. But I could have these toys, and they were fucking rad. That's just all there was to it.
Jeff was making his own storylines.
I was. I don't know what that is.
Well,
What?
I
It's a
think
tough question.
What about Jason the Wheeled Warriors then? They had cars.
I don't know what that is.
Do you know? Oh,
maybe it's British only, Steve.
I mean,
No, it's
Speed Racer
American-
was cars too, but it's too old. Like it totally missed me.
How old are you? Oh no, how old are you? How old are you, Jeff?
45. What?
You're old enough for Jason the Wheeled Warriors.
How old are you, Steve?
Okay.
Maybe
103?
it didn't exist.
I don't know.
48.
103, you, Steve.
103.
48.
Well, okay, then. Let's move it on. Let's get on to Professor Moggs of the Week. Come on, Professor Moggs of the Week? That don't make sense. Professor Moggs' Thought of the Week.
Professor Moggs' Thought of the Week. This week, it was in line a bit with Steve. Are you a vegetarian, Jeff, by any chance?
No.
No? Okay, that's
Plain and simple? No.
good. So,
Meat.
I don't think it was last week or a couple of weeks ago or 2 weeks ago or something. Basically, I bought a chicken and stuffing sandwich, which was called chicken and stuffing. Took it home to find out it was actually vegan soy protein and labeled chicken with apostrophe N to make it. Yeah, there's the picture on Soxy's screen. And I was a bit disappointed with that. Anyway, I've been doing some gardening and growing veg, and I've been using fish blood and bone, and I just realized, does that make it not vegetarian anymore?
Say that again.
You got a point, Mo. You
So
got a point.
My fertilizer of choice in my allotment or my garden
Meat.
is meat.
Meat.
is meat to make my
So,
vegetables
Well, that's
more
not
meaty.
true.
Essentially,
That's not-
Steve, right? He's feeding his plant meat.
Yeah, fish,
No, he's
fish blood, and,
not.
fish
Not
blood and
correct.
bone, which is fertilizer. It's
No.
along with bone meal, which is another one. But then I was thinking, well, does this make it non-vegan anymore? Or non-vegetarian?
No, because of the chemical process.
So it's just the chemicals that would
Yep.
make it non-vegan.
But technically, I'd argue against you there, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Because-
Well, that's nice.
Ben,
But
Ben, Jeff, he's still wrong. Yeah, I agree.
Because if I was a vegan and I didn't eat fish,
uh-huh.
is it a vegan that don't eat
blood.
fish? I think it is.
Yes, vegan eat nothing animal.
Yeah,
and I found
no
out that the
animal
carrot
product.
I'm eating was bred through fucking fish blood and fish.
Bread. It was bread.
bread.
It wasn't bread, Jeff.
And
Bread.
it was grown.
It was grown. I've never seen a carrot bread.
was
Bread.
grown and red using fish blood and
Still
fish.
grown and bred.
Regardless, I wouldn't be fucking happy. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
a fish would have to die and sacrifice for me to eat this carrot.
Mm.
So, Jeff, your opinion?
I think that's shit.
By the way, I'm not a vegan. I don't give a fuck.
You-
I
you
eat
think-
fish meat. I don't give a shit.
So your opinion, what I'm getting, Jeff, is that it's
Shit.
basically nutrients. It's just the nutrients that it's taking in.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
But a fish still have to die for that fucking carrot to have that nutrients.
Jeff,
So
can
I
you
could say
explain
to a
to him the
vegan-
Josh, shut the fuck up. Jeff, can you explain to these people what the circle of life is?
I'm not vegan. I don't give a
well,
fuck.
I'm no Elton John, but I could try. So
But all I'm saying is, next time I see a vegan, I'm gonna go, you know, a fish fucking died for you to eat that carrot.
Well, there's like another thing I came up was obviously manure. Yeah, again, it's an animal product, and
It's shit.
you can use it.
yes,
Yeah, but
this
I
is
mean,
also shit.
honey is a byproduct, and they refer
Honey
to
is
it honey.
vomit.
Yeah, honey is
Yeah.
basically vomit.
And he's
yeah.
yeah, of course it is, yeah.
But they won't eat it. They claim it's an animal product, same as milk. Milk is we basically have to. They won't wear wool, and we know, especially being Welsh, we know that you have to shear sheep. If you don't, they'll overheat and can die.
Yep, of course you will, yeah.
I mean,
I have a question. I have a question for you. What does a vegan woman feed her baby?
Vegan breast milk.
I guess. Breast milk, yeah.
That's an animal product.
True.
It's correct. It's a product.
It's
So
true.
vegans, like,
Almond
won't even
milk.
drink. Am I right? You won't drink milk?
No,
they won't feed milk.
a vegan will not eat anything,
So-
any animal products.
What happens to the cow if you don't milk them?
Big breasts anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not.
They dry up.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure I've heard that it's like uncomfortable or it can cause stress or something. They do actually need to be milked, like.
Yes, that's now that's bollocks, because the reason they have to be milked is because they are
Sorry, lads.
they're still being convinced that they have to, so they produce the milk. If they was natural, they would feed the young and then stop and they go dry.
So when it's
Same as
natural, they
everything
just
else.
stop the same as humans.
Right,
Okay,
now,
yeah, which is
Morgan, I'm going to tell you something about the circle of life, all right?
right. Okay.
All the bugs and the pillipalas, Jeff, pillipalas is Welsh for butterflies. All these little creatures that die and land onto the soil and the grass and degrade and become fertilizer for the vegetables of the world.
Yeah.
We've been eating ourselves for years and years.
Of course we have, yeah, and that's where my argument comes from. I mean, I agree with you. I 100% agree. When I was in Australia, I did a lot of farming, and similar to the States, probably, Jeff.
It's the same as most animals, isn't it? Because most animals are fed like plant-based food or plant-based
plants.
Yeah, but if they fed
Plant-based plants.
you know what I mean. Like when you go to a restaurant, they say it's like steak, plant-based, or steak.
I mean, a lot of the food, a lot of the meat we eat tend to be vegetarian. I mean, like chicken and and pig and pork tends to not be vegetarian, but we tend to feed them corn or wheat, whatever.
But I think the distinction Andrew was trying to make is grass-fed versus grain-fed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
With some kind of suggestion that a grass-fed cow is so much healthier or whatever. Where
natural.
Going back,
but I think cows are almost scavengers. They're opportunistic eaters. They eat what they can find. If they're forced if they're forced to eat any of one thing too often, it can lead to it's all things in moderation. Nothing, no thing always, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
That causes its own issues.
Yeah. Going back to what I was going to say, that was the same as in the States, probably, and with you. I saw a lot of countryside, and I did a lot of farm work when I was in Australia. And when I first saw a combine harvester plowing through, I was surprised to see the amount of buzzards and, looking for the meat that was getting torn up and left behind, because
of course, yeah.
So you're
animals
talking about
live,
like the mice and stuff like that, really?
I mean, animals live in that cornfield, that wheat field, sorry. So, there's the animals die for even as small as when I was picking apples, and I'd see fly traps and insect traps. I mean, is that how far do they take it? I mean, if an insect has to die, does that still make it vegan? Pesticides and it just came into my mind when I was thinking of the fish, blood and bone, and then it just spiraled out of control into all this stuff. Like, and I was thinking, what actually defines vegan? Can a vegan only be vegan if they grow their own food organically?
But then, I know it sounds really stupid, but we don't know whether these plants or anything are alive and can feel anything or pain. I don't think they can.
Well,
but we don't know 100%, do we? It grows and it's organic.
I think
so
the nervous system makes it feel pain, and plants don't have a nervous system, but still, I mean, they're still alive.
Some do show response to outside stimulus, though. So You know,
Yeah, well, yeah.
this notion of playing music to enhance the growth of a plant. This idea that plants will follow the sun.
Of course,
They react to the coming rain and turn the leaves over.
Well,
all these things are real
Grass cells will
reactions.
give off a chemical when you're cutting it.
So I was going to say.
Yeah. I can't go more.
Apparently, it says it means it's under stress or something, and it's actually warning other grass or something, communicating with that smell of fresh cut grass. But yeah, I was gone a bit off top. Lost my train of thought now, but I was going to bring up with the plants.
Is this the thought?
I was going to say something about the plants, but
I say save the plants and eat meat.
So I was going to say, like, if you ever watch a time lapse of a plant growing, it makes it feel like maybe they are just slow down in time, sort of thing. Because when you see them in fast motion, day in, day out, they move, and they like you said, they follow the sun, and they move back and forth, and they go down when it's raining, they go back up when it's sunny. They have a life cycle, and they're alive. It's just a strange thing. It's a really strange sort of argument and discussion, I think, with veganism.
100%.
So what you're saying is veganism real? Is vegetarianism real?
Yeah, maybe that's the question.
It can never be real.
But yeah, that was my thought of the week.
I like them out. I like it. It's made me think.
It's made you think. I hope it makes everyone think.
Does it hurt?
Yeah. Save the plants, eat meat. Right. Anyway, I think we should get on to the end of the show quiz. What do you reckon, lads? You up for it?
Perfect.
Right. Who's marking the score down for starters?
Would you like me to?
Go on, Morgs. You can do it.
Let me just make a quick note.
Jeff, in order to answer, Steve, how do you want to answer this quiz?
I got my pen and paper ready, but
Jeff, we vary the quiz rules every now and then, depending on the quiz. It's the Quizmaster's choice of rules, and then we listen to Jared Grizzle. This week, for a correct answer, 1 point. For an incorrect answer, -1 point.
Ooh, we got minuses, do we? I like it.
We have. Jeff, you've got to say your name to be called on.
So
okay.
So if you know the answer, just shout Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please use your own name.
Can I use John Burkow screaming order?
Yeah.
Order!
Yes, you've done.
If it drowns Jared out, I'm all right.
Fuck you, Steve. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
Grey-head prick.
So the last thing as well, right, is I will. If nobody's got the answer, I'll give you a multi-choice of 4. Then, if nobody answers, yeah.
Okay.
Aye. Oh, is that being a fucking sarcastic prick because of my shit quiz last week and none of you knew?
That was a really.
That was solid last week, but come on.
Oh, every quiz is solid to you. Fucking ABCD is solid to you.
Except for the one you knew all the answers to.
That is good.
Which I couldn't fucking be involved in. I could have had fucking everyone right, but yeah.
Which I gotta give it to him for being honest.
Can I just point out though, right, that each time we do a quiz, me and Steve usually would do our own questions. So the fact that Andrew knew the answers means Morgan Googled this quiz.
I absolutely didn't Google it. All I did was I typed in 50 of the best opening lines ever, and obviously whoever did Soxy's quiz did exactly the same.
I'm going to show you, right, the quiz that we just did with work, right, on fucking Wednesday. Look at that, bud. Jack. 23 out of 30, bud.
Cheers, buddy.
All the other 10-year-olds are less than me, Sox.
Like an 85, dude. You got a C.
Again, Jeff. Right there. Right there.
Come on, Jeff.
Before we start, I gotta get coffee. Hold on.
Yeah.
Jeff's gonna
Well, Jeff's off. We'll have a little conversation about something, boys.
Jeff's been very American and getting a coffee.
Coffee. How would you pronounce coffee in America?
Coffee.
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 Actually, it depends on what part of America you're from.
Of course.
It does.
Jeff, say coffee for me.
Yeah, put his headphones on.
Jeff, say coffee for me.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Now, see, if he was New York, and he'd be like, coffee.
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 Jeff has the standard American that
Coffee.
he's so used to.
Coffee.
Yes, I am standard American.
Yeah, the standard American accent
Jeff,
that
is it any
an
accent?
American speaks.
Huh?
Any part of America you don't like the accent? Like you in Britain, I can't stand the Liverpudlian accent. Like, fucking
Liverpudlian. We have lovely Liverpudlian fans, and you've just insulted
You
everyone.
have insulted the Liverpudlians.
I insult everyone.
No, actually, I enjoy the shit out of them. I really do. There is not an accent that I don't appreciate, because you can, it's like if you're watching a movie, right, and they show you the St. Louis Arch, you know exactly where you are.
Mm.
It's the same thing orally when you hear somebody speak with a distinctive regional accent or even dialect. And where I grew up, or where I was born anyway, my family in Maryland on the Eastern Shore has a very distinctive manner of speech. And I think that's probably why. Because I can hear people, when you hear people speak, if they're from one of those places that has that distinctive an accent, you just know.
So, what's
Yeah.
your opinion on the Welsh accent, Jeff? Do you understand the story?
I was just going to ask a similar question. But
What was the question?
so do you understand our accent of all of us being Welsh?
Obviously, he doesn't. He just asked to fucking repeat the question.
Okay, I just got it.
Or I did it for comedic effect.
Comedic effect, exactly.
Right
Oh,
there.
like
Right
from
there,
you.
Jeff. Right there.
Hey.
Jeff.
Okay, I was
So,
going to
yeah.
ask, do all British accents sound like more or less the same to you, or no?
No.
Oh, you can tell. That's
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, go on.
it's a matter of, we know they're different. Well, I know they're different, and even, the difference between and I may not know all the words right.
Yeah.
Like, Scottish is different than Irish. Irish is different than British or English as a rule. But then there are the subspecies of accents. Like, I know there's, I know there's Cockney, and then there's the proper
Geordie and
Like,
the proper, like, high street Londonish, like, the royal speak, and then
Which, yeah.
and they're all very distinctive, and you can tell a whole story about people just in how they speak, right?
Yeah.
like,
So-
did anyone see the video that Mike, the random guy, put in Discord? You probably seen
What the
it.
hell are you doing to yourself?
Grab my phone. Grab my phone.
This is something British people do,
Yeah.
and when we're unhappy, we rub our phones on our nipples. Just a bit of culture training for you, Jeff.
Jeff, did you know of Wales before? Because I know a lot of people go, Wales, that's just England.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not England. Does that make sense?
Yeah, only because I care about things and look up, like, what the hell shit means. Wales is a thing. I get it. It's one of those kingdoms that are united now, much to your chagrin.
But we're still separate, Jeff. We're still separate.
Yeah. Like, no offense to a lot of Americans, but you were probably well traveled compared to a lot of the population. Yeah, I mean, being overseas for a start.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot less of that. Same as Australia. When I was there, a lot of people had never, been over the sea. It was quite crazy.
Yeah.
But being Welsh, I'm always the last accent they guess. It's like, oh, you got a funny accent.
You're Scottish.
English? No.
Yeah.
Scottish? No. Irish? No. Welsh? Oh, yeah, of course, Wales. Yeah. And it's like, yeah,
Oh, right.
always the last
So-
guy.
Liar.
Yeah.
What do you actually think of our accent, Jeff, when you hear our accent?
Oh, God. Jeff, do you like us?
Do
You
sound,
like us,
do we,
Jeff?
no,
Yeah.
no, what I'm asking
Like
is,
us.
do we sound rather thick?
Only when you speak, Jared.
Let's see. Yeah, because you all four have your own little quirks,
Mm.
Who would you say, which of you most exemplifies the standard Welsh manner of speech?
It's not
Is it
Steve.
Jared?
100% it's probably me.
I agree with it. Yeah, it's Jared, definitely.
Okay.
Especially
So-
the problem to
What?
to say H's. Like he says, like, all right, this is a good example, and I've been meaning to bring this up.
Fuck you, Walt.
I've been
Fuck you, you
researching
big bean.
this program that he's been telling me to watch called Money Iced. So I've been typing in MoneyIced. What the fuck is this program? And then I find out it's heist, as in like bank heist or
Money Iced.
jewel heist. So I mean, yeah, exactly. That's a
Yes,
good
me.
example.
It's me,
What
Jeff.
the
I'm
fuck is
probably
this
the most
program?
Welsh out of the lot.
Okay. So
Steve
if
likes
we're-
to think he's posh.
if- yes.
Jeff, they pick on me all the time for my pronunciation, basically.
Because you enunciate.
Because I'll give you another example now, right? When Jared tries to speak proper, I've had sentences like this. Look at that house over there.
Yeah, exactly. And my dad says exactly the same thing. House over there.
It's amazing.
Oh, it's very strange.
It is. But
yeah, you're
similar
right,
things
Jared,
exist
definitely.
in American English. But if Jared is the exemplar of Welsh, then yeah, I'm gonna have to say it implies a certain industrial simpleton, like factory worker kind of.
Dim-wittedness.
Yeah, that's what it implies.
And let's move on to the quiz.
You asked the question, sir.
Like,
Thank you for answering.
just a
Hey.
quick going back to it though, but I feel the same, exactly the same as you just described. Like I'm starting to learn different accents in America, but if you have an American on TV, they almost always sound like you, basically,
Yeah,
from
Like a
California.
Canadian, yeah.
There's never, unless they specifically are from Texas, then they talk with a Texas accent. But otherwise, if they're American, they have one accent, and that is it. Like, but yeah, it's just,
So, and that's so funny story. I'm not from California. I was born in Maryland. I was raised in Florida, but never in the Florida-est parts of Florida.
yeah.
And I've been, I lived in Texas for 4 years. I lived in Chicago for 3 years, all around, right? And it gets diluted as you move around. I'm also a mimic to some degree, where if I'm in a group of people that are speaking Southern, I will get it back.
Start to bring it back. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And if I'm in a group of people from like Philly, Pittsburgh, or Philly, New York, DC, there are manners of speech there. And if it's only the speed, right, the tempo of words, you start dropping syllables, cramming shit together. I picked that up too. But I mean, there is nothing, the old joke about Foxworthy, or Jeff Foxworthy, right, about language, where you don't talk Southern to sound smart.
Exactly. That's right.
I mean, if people come at you talking about like this, like, hey man, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna drill around in your skull for a minute, and we're gonna get you fixed right up, right? That doesn't help. That's not
It's the
comfortable.
last thing.
Jeff, you should
your
use
pilot.
that accent in the whole podcast, but you really should have.
I
Jared,
couldn't do it.
Yeah, last thing you want to hear is your pilot saying, "All right, guys, we're gonna go to Spain now. If you're all right with that." Oh God, here we go.
Like a buddy.
All right, boys, there we go.
We'll be over there now in a minute.
We'll be over there now in a minute. And who's caused our jacket?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's go.
Steve,
to the
we need to
quiz.
move on to the end of the show quiz, son. Come on.
yeah, right then. Yeah, point for correct, minus for incorrect. Jeff, call your name,
Yep.
and hopefully the time lapse between us lot and you isn't too much.
It's
You
fine.
should still be able to
I
beat
think it's
Soxy,
good.
but we'll go over there. Ready, Ann?
Yeah.
Question 1. Which chess piece figure is closely related to the Bohemian Rhapsody?
Andrew,
Andrew,
the Queen.
Of course.
the Queen, correct. Mark him down. Mark
Fucking
him down.
hell, he's got a point.
Which US president is most to the left on Mount Rushmore?
Jeff.
I think I know this. No, I don't.
Is that your answer, or
No. I said my name. Jeff.
Jeff?
It would be George Washington.
Correct.
Yes, it is.
Question 3. Which movie was the first to win 11 Academy Awards?
Morgan.
Morgan.
It's got to be Titanic.
Incorrect. But that was
Jared,
Go on, Jack.
is it Avatar?
It's not. I can give you options if you want. So if you're not sure, all right.
Well, it's only Jeff and fucking Andrew still live there, no?
I'm telling you this going forward, you tit.
Yeah,
Jeff,
no.
socks?
Nope.
No socks? Options then?
Yeah.
La La Land, Sound of Music, Ben-Hur,
Andrew.
Andrew.
I was going to say, I'm going to say Ben-Hur.
No.
Correct.
Oh, is
Fucking
I was gonna
Nick,
say
your
La La
point,
Land.
Mugs.
Good old songs. Number 4. Which country hosted the Summer Olympics in 2016?
Morgan.
Jared,
Morgan first.
Oh, shit. I fucking
John
forgot.
second.
Ah,
Oh, why have I forgotten this?
Oh,
Well done, Jeff. Well done.
I think I know.
Shame on you if you didn't.
I have to pass. I've lost it. Can't even remember.
I'm sure it was Beijing.
You're out. Do you
No,
want
I wasn't.
clues?
That was before us.
Was it?
Yeah.
Do you want clues?
Why have I forgotten this?
can I? Before you say an option, can I just have a quick guess?
You can, but then you're out if you're wrong.
That's fine. Tokyo.
No,
You're out.
that was
Tokyo's this year. That isn't
Tokyo
happened.
was 2020.
It was us. It was fucking us. I'm sure
No,
it
it
was.
wasn't. We were 2012.
No, that was 12. It was Rio.
2012, London was.
Rio.
It was. It was. I was thinking Brazil, but I thought it wasn't.
I'll give it to Jeff, even though he didn't call Jeff's name out.
I was the only one left. I fucking win.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
So correct, Brazil. What temperature is the same in Celsius and Fahrenheit?
Jeff.
Jeff.
Negative 40 degrees.
Correct.
Really?
Yep.
I was going to say 0.
I'm fine with Jeff answering that because I knew the other 3 wouldn't get that at all.
You thought it was
Even
0?
options.
I knew it.
Yeah, I thought it was 0 for some reason.
No.
He was on the ceiling when he was looking up like I was, eh?
Yeah.
Number 6. Which city landmarks include the Pantheon, the Spanish Steps, and the Trevi Fountain?
Morgan.
Fuck off, Morgs.
Rome.
Correct.
Morgs, I knew it. You're a prick.
Well, I'm okay.
Jeff, don't clap him. Give him the finger instead.
No.
Jeff, what finger gestures do Americans do?
They give the fucking finger, Steve.
The same as us, isn't it?
Is it just a finger?
Oh, yeah.
Did he
Yeah.
use that? Did he use that?
Of course.
Right.
This is the long.
Any
Isn't
others?
it the longbow?
We've got
Yeah, the lumber, yeah.
hi, bye. I really like you. Rock and roll.
Yeah. What about Guanca?
And-
I bet you don't
and
use
you-
that, do you?
Do you that one, Jeff?
Guanca.
Every day, he said, every day.
Put that away.
That feels like it's a really British thing, but
Yeah.
maybe it's not.
Wanker.
Yeah.
Go on,
No.
Steve.
Go on, carry on.
What is the colour of Donald Duck's dicky bow?
Morgan.
Morgan?
Blue.
No.
Andrew.
Jeff.
Oh, isn't it?
Andrew, I heard Andrew. I don't blame you. I heard Andrew.
Orange.
No.
Got it.
Jeff.
Sorry, John was there first.
Is it purple?
No. Jeff.
It's red.
It's red.
Red.
But it's only been red since
Fuck
red.
you, Jeff. Fuck you.
Fuck you right back.
So angry.
Right there. Right there.
Jeff, you're right, but it was another colour before that. Do you know when? Do you know what it was?
Before red, it was yellow.
No, it was black.
Oh.
And it only turned to red in 1999.
Hmm.
So for 60 odd years, it was more than 60 odd years, obviously. it was black, and then for the last 20, it's been red. Which actress plays a major role on the TV show The Big Bang Theory?
Jared!
Jared.
Don't know her name.
Jeff.
Jeff.
Kaylee Cuoco.
That's correct.
Fuck!
And Jared claims to be a massive fan of the
I
lady.
like Big Bang Theory. I never like Big Bang Theory.
Of the lady, not the show.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like the lady.
Yeah.
Married with children. That was me.
Yeah.
How many spaces are on a standard Monopoly board?
Oh, I should know this.
Jared!
Ah, fuck.
Jared?
40.
My guess.
Correct.
Jeff.
Wow!
It is 40.
Give me a point.
What was you going to say, Jeff?
No, it doesn't matter now.
What restaurant franchise advises you to eat fresh?
Jared!
Jeff.
I'm sorry. I'll give it to Jared. I'm curious as to how fast Jared is compared to Jeff. Oh, Jack, go on.
Subway.
Yes.
It is Subway.
Well, it is his spirit animal.
Eat fresh.
Oh, can I just ask you?
Does
More
not contain fish, blood, and
wrong
bones.
answers.
No, I haven't.
What? Tell again, Jack.
Was I supposed to?
Yeah. Supposed to take away a point for wrong answers,
Oh,
folks.
I didn't hear that. My bad.
Oh, come on.
I didn't hear this.
Well, in our case, take all their points away apart from me, Bob.
Yeah, of course.
Right. Which of these cities is closest to London? Boston, New York, Miami, or Atlanta?
Morgan,
Ooh, Morgan.
New York.
No,
No, it's not.
no, that's that way, innit?
No, New York is on the.
Jeff.
East Coast,
East side.
innit? New York's East Coast.
Yeah,
Jeff.
which is closer to us.
Oh, of course it is, that, yeah.
Jeff.
Sorry?
Jeff,
Hi, can I answer now?
Yes, please. Then.
It's Boston.
Correct.
is it Boston?
It is.
Well, yeah, because it's farther east.
Yeah, I didn't realize. Yikes.
Jared didn't realise which side was east and west, so you're fine. What religion is the most practiced in India?
Morgan,
Hold on.
I think it's Islam now.
It's not.
Jared!
Oh,
Jared. And the next person.
No. I'm going to go with Christianity. Fuck it, Christianity.
nah,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Jeff got it.
Buddhism.
It's not, no.
No.
Dogs, got an idea?
Take one away, Morgan.
Dogs?
Nope.
Can I
It
guess
is-
again?
Give me
No,
options.
no.
Give me
You don't get
options.
points speaking. Options, Sikhism, Islam,
Oh,
Shinto, and Hinduism.
Morgan.
Hinduism.
You're
Hinduism.
out. Dogs, you asked for the clue.
Oh.
Hinduism.
Sikhism. Obviously, that depends on what
Religion you want to go.
poll has been done at what time, because it
Yeah.
always changes. But
Yeah.
it's Sikhism.
I thought Islam took over now, but let's carry on.
What was the first successful vaccine developed in history? What was it developed for?
Jared,
Yeah.
Jared,
smallpox.
correct.
Ooh.
What is the name of the Jewish New Year? I can give options.
Wait, I don't need it.
Wait, when you Googling, yeah?
No,
Yeah.
no.
I should know this.
Jeff said his name.
Jared,
Jeff
Did
said
Jeff?
his name.
I think I hear Jeff.
Oh,
was
Jeff.
over there.
Yes, it was gone. Jeff,
Rav Hashana.
correct.
fuck.
Right there,
Jeff's
right there.
Googling. Jeff's fucking Googling.
I do like the American way of when he gets an answer correct, that's when he gets angry.
Yeah. It's the opposite.
Oh shit!
Does anybody know what Kwanzaa is?
Yeah, it's not like Rastafarian Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that a point?
No.
No. Why did you ask?
Because I spent a lot of time trying to find out options
Oh, okay.
which are similar, or I took ages, so I'm asking people.
Come on, Steve.
This is for my benefit. What is the name? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Other than eggs, what is the primary ingredients of eggs Florentine?
Morgan.
Dogs are a fucking chef, mate.
Salmon?
No.
Oh, what? Why can't I think of this?
Eggs Florentine.
I can't guess now. I know it.
Is that you,
Oh,
Jeff?
Boggs, whisper in my ear, bud.
No, I'm not telling them.
Do you want
The
options?
scoreboard is
Yes.
embarrassing. I'm not giving anyone answers.
Do you want options?
Yes, please.
I know it.
You know it, well done.
Yeah.
It's too late, but well done.
Come
Ham,
on, Steve. Give us options.
ham, avocado, gorgonzola.
Andrew.
or spinach.
Andrew.
Andrew. That was very
Avocado.
sick.
It's avocado.
Is the wrong answer.
Can you give me the options again, Steve?
Ham, avocado, gorgonzola, or spinach.
Jared.
Oh,
Got it.
Spinach.
Correct.
Salmon is
new,
royale. I think it's like eggs royale is smoked salmon. Fucking stupid. Damping.
As you can see, Jeff, you got a range of people with a range of knowledge or lack of.
This isn't fair. I got to keep scores as well. I'm doing too many things at once.
That doesn't happen until after the question's over.
I know.
That's correct.
I'm making sure I'm writing them down.
Soxy's got to think and blink.
And breathe.
What is the largest country by area that has only got one time zone?
Jared.
Jared.
Oh, I'm going to fuck up here, but I'm going to say Canada.
Yeah, you fucked up.
Yeah, you did. Jeff. Russia.
Incorrect. Russia's got quite a few time zones.
Oh, Jeff fucked up as well, did he?
Morgan.
See, Jeff, that's when you get angry, when you get it wrong. And then other people pick on you because they had it wrong as well, just to make you feel smaller than them. Not when you win.
Iran.
Morgan. China.
China's correct.
Correct.
Well done.
Morgan, Google it. Morgan, Google
No, I
it.
didn't. I remember they banned all the time zones to try and make it easier, didn't they?
Yeah. See, he's even got the history behind it, Jared.
That's amazing that you can read Wikipedia that well. Anyway.
Bonus points for writing down my workings.
Right, last two questions. How many blue stripes does the United States of America's national flag have?
That's disgusting. That's
Morgan.
disgusting knowing we got an American on, yeah?
Morgan.
Jeff.
None.
Correct, Jeff. Too slow. Correct, Morgan. None.
Yes. I needed that point.
Amazing. That is amazing.
Soxy, what colour are the stripes?
Red. They are, aren't they?
I need at least two colours to have stripes.
Red and
At
white.
least two
Red and
colours.
white.
I like how he went closer to the mic. Red and
No,
white.
Just a square.
No, you can have stripes. Single lines. They're stripes.
But he would have differential colours between the two, whether it was black and white. God.
No, they're red stripes on a white field.
Well, it'd be white there, wouldn't it? You fucking
Yeah, that's
created salt and pepper looking prick.
Right, we're not fucking arguing again. Red and
Salt
fucking
and
white.
pepper.
It's both of them.
No swearing this time, Jared.
Hang on, is white the colour?
Oh, yes.
It's a shame.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So I'm right today. I'm right today, Stephen.
No, you're incorrect.
No,
You're
I'm fucking right, motherfucker.
Technically.
White is not the colour. Jeff, back me up, bud. You're American.
Jeff, back me up.
Jared, Jared, what colour are clouds?
Fluffy white.
That's a
white
texture.
shade. It's a white shade. That's the next question.
Grey.
Last
It's raining.
question. Now, I'll give you options because I have to, right? Which actor does not appear in Saving Private Ryan? Does not. Tom Hanks, Giovanni Ribisi,
Right.
Ralph Fiennes, or Vin Diesel?
Jared.
Morgan.
Jared first?
Vin Diesel.
No.
No.
He's a little fucking fat
Morgan.
bald-headed prick in here, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
Morgan.
Is he fuck?
Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes, correct. Well done.
Yes.
And
Vin Diesel
Chris?
gets taken out by the sniper, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Fuck's sake. What's the scores of those, Morg?
You're gonna hate this. It's Jeff with a very good 7, actually.
Ooh,
Morgan
cheater.
with a 4. Jared with a 3. And Sogsy with a 2. Came back last minute.
well done to America.
Very good, Jeff.
Well done, Jeff.
He's a
Jeff.
cheating bastard.
Too busy keeping the scores to cheat.
Anyway,
Jeff, how does it feel to be a winner, Jeff?
Well, it's pretty normal, so that's some bullshit. I just want to thank all of my friends, of which I have none, my family. It's amazing.
Okay. School education?
Yes, my standard public school education in Central Florida.
Wikipedia?
No. Straight up. I did not Google my search results, unlike some people.
Like
So,
some
Mox.
people. Jared.
Jared?
I did not Google.
anyway, if you liked what you listened to, then go ahead and like and subscribe. Also go along to Jeff's podcasts, which are go on, Jeff, tell us your podcasts.
He's forgotten.
Round and Round, Half-Fast Podcast, and Dispatches of Disassociation.
Go along and
all the
give him a
logos
subscribe.
are in the video, as well as the R&R, the podcast, Twitter is in the fucking video.
Yep.
The fucking video.
I've been Jared.
I've been right there.
I've been Morgan.
And I've been Steve, and
I'm Jeff.
yay!
Peace out,
There you
guys.
go, boys. Cut to
Peace
there.
out.